Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Eh?
Hey, I actually made it back in time. Who's impressed?
Cool. You defrosting that fruit or it was on the ice cream, whatever it was.
Well, I do that every day.
Thing on thing.
There's fruit every day.
So what's going on at this time? What's...
I don't know. Nothing. Dawn is moving.
When's the radio show thingy?
Now.
Oh, it is?
Welcome to our ultra-formal radio show, which Maggot and I refuse to introduce.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, sometimes I just kind of get called and I have to ask whether I'm on air or not. I mean, I just never know.
Well, if it's between these hours, you know.
It doesn't matter to me because whether I'm on or off, I mean, I just talk about whatever, so I don't care.
We're responsible adults.
You are catching our everyday talk, pretty much. And that's not a lie, actually. I mean,
cool.
Too bad they didn't catch the after-air talk. They would have heard me being rudely interrupted.
Yeah, we have a ridiculous after show, too. Oh, yeah. If you think the show's ridiculous...
It's funny when I could argue with someone that probably on every other facet, like, at least politically, there'd be mass agreement. So, you know.
Oh, you bring up that religion stuff, you're all screwed.
Yeah, it upsets people, too.
I didn't know there was little O Orthodox. I don't agree. There's no little O Orthodox. You can forget it. Those people told me there was little O. There's no little O.
Little O, big C, small c, that thing.
Yeah.
This thing, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah.
Why? Because we like you.
Brought to you by the Little O Orthodox Church.
Okay. How about the big O? The great big O. Big giant O.
Wow.
Yeah, well, we just babble. If there's no Dawn, we just babble and babble and babble. It's great.
Babble on?
Yeah, babble on and on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't make that joke because Squeeze stole it in like '87. You know.
Tom Selleck, Magnum PI, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He was offered the role of Indiana Jones. I'm just reading like random stuff on the internet. Selleck was offered the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but had to turn it down because he had already committed to appearing in TV show Magnum PI. With just 3 weeks to go, director Steven Spielberg persuaded George Lucas to cast Harrison Ford.
Well, that guy doesn't work in the movies at all. It doesn't. He's real good on TV. There's some people that can't do it on film, and they work so well on TV. And that, you know, that Magnum PI, that's Quantum Leap. The same guy that made Quantum Leap and.
Giorgio Belisario, what was his name?
Belisario.
I liked Quantum Leap, you know, I don't know why I liked that.
I like Quantum Leap, yeah.
I'll probably be wrong, but Belisario, didn't he do Battlestar Galactica?
No. He did.
Wasn't Quantum Leap
NCIS.
like in the late 80s, and it's supposed to take place of this guy who was doing this time travel experiment from 1999, and he got trapped in this continual time travel business where he jumped from. Yeah.
And of course, like Stuart Swedlow and all the others have claimed that it's based
leap to leap, trying to find his way home.
Yeah, they'd have claimed it's part of the Montauk project. I mean, I don't even need to find out. I know they would have.
I saw the last episode of that, and it was a disappointment.
Yeah, he was like supposedly on the run from the devil or something, wasn't he? In the end,
in the end, he just ended up in this weird. He ended up on the day he was born. And he could see himself in the mirror. And I mean, at the end of it, he had to decide whether he was going to keep leaping or not. And it was a disappointment.
Well, he spent way too much time being a woman. I'll tell you that. Too much time in a dress.
Why do you always be a human? You see, when I watched it, I wanted him to go into a turd or something, being flushed down a toilet. I thought that'd be a really entertaining episode.
To find his way back from the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. What's the name of the guy? Hal, wasn't it? It was something dodgy.
Oh, that was the helper guy.
Yeah.
Hal,
I'm a turd!
He came back as a hologram, and he talked to him as a hologram or something.
Yeah, Ziggy Stardust.
Well, so anyway, I was never into Magnum PI, and so I had seen a little NCIS before it went wrong. He does NCIS too.
And, oh no,
yeah.
I hate that show.
Well, at first NCIS was good. I think Belisarius has given up. But it's the same show as Quantum Leap and the same show as Magnum P.I. So I started watching Magnum P.I. Magnum P.I. is the same show as Quantum Leap.
NCIS is full of a bunch of propaganda.
It's got propaganda, I know. But that's because they've got guns to their head. Did you know that they came and embarrassed the real NCIS because they were bullying them? They had to release their emails?
Edward James Olmos directed Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I see.
Totally different.
But this is the producer.
They're always going after terrorists and things like that, you know.
Oh yeah, NCIS went really wrong fast. They killed the brother, this Jewish Israeli Mossad agent, and so they have the sister now on the team because the best thing in the world is to have Mossad on your side.
Yeah, it's this. I know who you're talking about. She's from.
Oh my God!
She
Why
plays
can't they
this girl
shoot her in the
who's
head
from
by
Israel.
accident? They could write up a report, make it seem like an accident.
Oh yeah, it's Glenn A. Larson's the proper one. I haven't seen the new series. Apparently,
they even did Airwolf. Did you ever see Airwolf?
Yeah, I remember Airwolf.
That's the same show too. This is a producer-run show. Most shows are director and all that. This is a producer-run show. Oh, he apparently did. He directed 11 episodes of Battlestar Galactica. You're right.
Yeah. There you go.
I didn't know that.
Where you learn Mormonism without even mentioning it.
I know. That's sick.
Jokes.
Where are the rebel humans? Okay. That's not so difficult to do it without silent bites.
See, but you got to play like the when you talk, which is more difficult.
Is that how they talk on Kolob?
That episode of South Park about the Mormons is actually pretty accurate in parts of it on the Mormon doctrine. It's really funny.
Oh, what? You mean the cartoon?
Yeah, South Park made an episode making fun of the Mormons and actually pretty accurate. He did put his head inside of a hat, claiming he read the plates from there. I mean, that's accurate. A lot of Mormons don't want to tell you that today, but it is in their original accounts that's what he did. The
he
people
put his head
who were
into
around,
a hat?
He put his head into a hat, and the plates weren't even in the hat, but he was claiming he could read what was on the plates by sticking the stones into the hat and putting his head in there. And
you mean his face? His face into the wow.
Yeah, into the top hat. Mm-hmm.
Like Dr. Seuss, the cat in the hat.
Well, this is the Mason in the hat, so it's.
I got Russell Crowe was offered the Wolverine role in the first X-Men, but demanded too much money. Scottish actor, Dougray Scott was then cast, but had to pull out when filming the Saber's schedule on Mission Impossible 2. So Hugh Jackman stepped in, sticking around for 2 sequels and a prequel.
I don't know. I used to like that guy. I associated him with the Quantum Leap, and it turns out it was the producer. You know, the guy. They made him a Star Trek captain too. Yeah.
Belisario.
No, Belisario is the producer.
Yeah.
Oh, Belisario.
That's the brains behind it all. Belisario is the brain.
He let himself be intimidated into NCIS, and that's unforgivable. And
he's just old, and a lot of these things are done on automatic pilot after a while. But I think he really cared back when it was Quantum Leap and Magnum P.I. Because I'd never seen Magnum P.I. I always dismissed it because all the women were into it. That's a quality program.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just thought it was obvious Freudian symbology because the Magnum's a really big gun, like the Magnum 357 is the largest handgun.
No, I was stunned to see that it was like Quantum Leap. It was very, very close to Quantum Leap.
Oh, okay. So you're
I've
into
seen
this program that chicks are. Do you turn on like Lifetime? And...
No. You get over that he's like a rubber mask. He doesn't have any expressions on his face. The guy with the mustache.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck.
Oh, Tom Selleck.
Yeah, I mean they're just moving him around like a big chess piece, and then the other people in the show are interesting. He has no expressions, all like it's rubber mask. It's bizarre.
He's always going around with his chest hanging out though, and I was just like I got a bit annoyed with the Freudianism of it though, like the Magnum being the big gun and him waddling around with his chest hanging out. And
well, I tend to hear television. You know what I mean? I hear it.
It's usually better that way.
I'm working on the computer. I got the TV behind me. I got them as DIVXs, so there's no commercials or anything. So I just put a million of them on one desk.
And of course, his moustache, which is like favorite of gay porn stars.
Yeah, he really has the super mustache, but you forget that he's even on the show.
Yeah.
But because it's got such snappy dialogue, just like just like Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Maggot, are you a gay porn star?
No.
I haven't got a mustache. I don't understand the reference. Gene Hackman was offered the job of Hannibal Lecter in the movies.
I don't think that would have worked. He's real limited in his act. He's good, but he's limited.
Yeah, wasn't he? Lex
I just saw him in a movie. Yeah, he's Lex Luthor too.
Yeah, King Lucifer. Yeah.
He's quite good, but he really has to be within certain constraints, or it's not working out.
Oh, it is. Really terrible photo of John Travolta. He was offered the role of Forrest Gump.
No, that wouldn't have worked either.
No, it's too much exposure of bloody John Travolta.
And see, the Forrest Gump is a rip-off of Being There. Being There is really good.
I haven't seen that movie Forrest Gump. I don't want to see it either.
Forrest Gump's really lame. I stopped Forrest Gump. I couldn't make it all
What? Forrest Gump was funny. It's pretty good. I mean, it's long and drawn out, but...
Did you see Being There?
No.
You gotta see Being There. Being There, the minute you see that, you'll never even think Forrest Gump thoughts again.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's the real deal.
Yeah. Being There.
It's Peter Sellers. Oh, I got my BitTorrents turned up. You guys probably can't hear me.
No, the gay porn star mustache reference. I thought.
Does Being There also have kind of like Forrest Gump? You get kind of a feel of. It's kind of like he just does something to do it. It's kind of like Dow. I mean, was that stolen from Being There?
No, it's not religious. Being There's not religious. He's an idiot, a gardener.
Forrest Gump isn't really. I mean, the Dow element. I'm not saying it's religious, and it's not even. It's probably not even
intended.
It's just kind of like, well, I'm doing this, and like he goes running, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go home because I'm tired. That's kind of a Dow element.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But. I don't know. Being There, the title itself sounds like it. But
no, Being There is really great. He's an absolute abject idiot who is a gardener. He's barely able to do that, and he's taken care of by this black maid for this super rich guy. And suddenly the guy dies, and this guy's out on the street somehow, and he explains his gardening tips, and they read into it. And that's about it. And eventually he's advising the president and stuff. It's really sort of embarrassing. It's Peter Sellers. It's really amazing.
Oh, Peter Sellers, yeah.
How does that correspond to Forrest Gump stealing it? I mean, what's the...
No, it's quality. It's a quality program. Whereas the whole other one is real junky and stupid. What am I talking about? Forrest Gump. Yeah, it's real.
But what's the correlation there? I mean, what was stolen?
The whole concept is just ripped off, and they tried to make it like more important or something. I mean, it's just stupid.
Yeah, he got to see more presidents or something.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing with mustaches and gay porn stars is obvious. I thought it was obvious because you grow a mustache to cover your face, and then after you finish your job, you shave the mustache off, and nobody knows it was you. It's similar to like when they cover a bandage over the eyes, censored on the thing, and then they'll get their nice little jobs in Hollywood, and nobody will ever find out their porn went past, except all the directors and producers and everybody else.
Yeah, they're all blackmailed. There's a lot of famous stories about '70s porn with super famous stars, and
exactly, yeah.
Like that video with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, the shower sex scene.
Yeah.
Obama's mama.
I've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. Obama's mama. Obama mama's that bitch was a freak though. I mean, damn, she was into interracial porn before interracial porn was a genre. I mean,
why would you even want to watch that?
I'm not saying I want to watch it, but I'm just saying she was a trailblazer in the porn community.
Great, and the Marxist community too. She was really hot in the Marxist community.
Yeah, dude, she was passed around like a joint, man. It's like, call me Stalin, bitch.
Have you seen that book by that guy? I've got it as a PDF. That Sex Rebel Black by Frank Marshall Davis. He had sex. He picked up the grandparents. I thought it was the parents. He picks up the grandparents and has sex with both of them in a park in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Ah, what the fuck?
I mean, imagine you and your girlfriend are picked up by this huge black man and he fucks you both. I mean, what the hell's going on here? That's never happening, so. Yeah, you can forget that.
Okay,
you're not attracted to Terry Crews?
No. There's no chance of that ever happening, ever. So, yeah.
Once you go black, you're in
No,
a
it's not the black part. It's that some guy picks. Forget that it's a black guy. It's a guy. A guy picks you up and your girlfriend and has sex with both of you. Are you insane?
Well, you know how.
No, I don't know how anything. I don't know. I'm not gonna know. I don't know. No.
You know how crazy you white people are.
No.
I know, I'm a cracker, and
no.
Guys are never satisfied.
I'm not a Western European. Would you like to? I am from Asia.
Oh?
Yeah. Wait, so I guess you've never seen cocky porn.
Oh, I'm not into that either. That's crazy too. What, you gotta get up in your Sunday best and have everybody cream all over you? That's so hot.
Of course, apparently
I've never seen anything as hot as that.
Where they tie up the guy, they like another guy ties up another guy and like rapes the shit out of him. Yo, those Japs are crazy.
Oh, how exciting! I'm just so thrilled.
Those Japs are fucking crazy.
Oh, how thrilling!
If they can't find a chick, they'll fuck each other. What the fuck is up with these Japs?
Oh, ridiculous.
And yet you would think that women would be a lot more appreciative of American men, but when they come here, they become Americanized. Apparently, they don't like fat guys. I mean, what the fuck?
Does anyone like fat guys?
Nobody likes fat guys since the beginning of time.
Some chicks like fat guys. I've seen it, but it's not very often, but it happens.
Yeah, they have to be paid in advance to say that.
It happens. So, some fat guys get a break, but not very often.
No, they got to be like really good musicians.
I do see a bunch of dudes who are chubby chasers though, but like with women, that's not very often.
Yeah, speaking about liberals,
yeah.
if we can make that segue, I was walking around in my neighborhood and there was some naked chicks just standing there asking people to pay her to paint her for money. In fact, yeah, let me get you guys the link. Shit. I mean, it's like this is what's happening in my neighborhood. So, and ironically, it was some bald-headed Vincent D'Onofrio looking dude that called the cops.
Really? That is just craziness. I'll paint you with turds, and then run off. Just like a bucket of turds. There you go. Will Smith has offered the job of role of Neo in The Matrix.
Did you take those really embarrassing, really great street action pictures?
Who?
That you had on your page last night? That's great. Did you take those, or where did you get those?
Street action pictures.
Idiots out in the road there, naked. The liberals trying to raise money by being naked.
Yeah, I took those from my BlackBerry.
That's really great. You gotta embarrass people to death when they're stupid.
And I'm like, the thing is, this chick is like freaking this chick is like butt ass naked with a bunch of little kids just gawking at her, and I'm like, yo, guys, you're not old enough to really appreciate this. I mean, you guys are just like, you're like, this is not for you. You guys gotta go.
It's not for anybody. What are you doing naked on the street?
Yeah, I mean...
It's not like it's for somebody else, it's for nobody. What the hell is wrong with people's minds?
It's really against it's against none of the three laws, I mean...
No, but you're supposed to have some dignity.
Yeah, I mean, and the chick, the bottom picture, where you can't really see the chick that well, the chick in the black dress, like painting her in the back, down there, I mean, if you see it, the last picture in the bottom... I made the joke, we're the feminists when you need them. And they're like, oh, you think feminists will be against this? I'm like, yes, of course they would. They're against anything that's good. No, but I'm just saying, I mean, isn't this objectifying women sexually? I mean, look at all these guys. They're like looking at her, they don't really give a fuck about the artistic merit of this.
I do hear though that there is and I don't know what to make of this. There are some people who end up finding some weird culture out in the middle of nowhere where everyone's, butt-ass naked 100% of the time, but you get stories about how, like, the men, when they're talking to these women, they're not staring at their breasts, they're looking at them in their eyes. So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that in our society we're just so pushed toward looking at that sexually. Those women probably did have sexual motives that you mentioned, but it doesn't have to be viewed that way.
Well, unfortunately, in a society where we are still mostly conservative, even though we allow gays, not gays to marry, but gays to exist, we still find.
As long as they're not rubbing it in my face and they're not like dancing around it in skirts and parades, I don't care.
Unfortunately, in New York, they rub it in your face, or
right.
At least they try to rub it in your face. But then if you punch him in the face for trying to fucking disrespect, then you're charged with a hate crime.
Right, I've got a problem with that.
So I mean, I've actually had this argument. I'm like, oh, you hate gays? I'm gonna if you touch me.
I don't hate gays. I hate fags, and there's a difference.
Wait, let me finish.
You're still conservative? No. As if that's the normal progression is to become a lib? No.
Okay.
If you have any brains, you want to be a conservative, because not a phony. See, they've created this phony conservatism. The ones with the social issues. Conservatives have no social issues.
I still think that's a false paradigm. Liberal conservative.
Right. No, real conservatives of the past, of the real Republican, not the phony Republican Party we have now since 1980, but the real one. They never told you any social issues ever, and they could not even debate with Democrats because Democrats are all about social issues and don't know anything about government policy, and conservatives were all about government policy and didn't give a damn about it. I mean, they might have privately thought, well, this about abortion or whatever. Screw that. You're supposed to think for yourself. That's the point. Smaller government out of your life. That's the whole point. If you're talking religious, political issues, you're not a conservative. They brought over all the white libs who had been. They convinced them that they were disenfranchised by the Democratic Party. That the Democratic Party, all they all cared about was black issues, right? That's what they told them. So they all moved over to become phony conservatives. They're not conservatives. They're the white libs from the Democratic Party, and they pushed out all the actual conservatives. Because real conservatives, they could never read that card that said, no abortion, even in the case of rape and incest. That's what pushed them all out of the party. They had, like there was a gun to your head, and you had to read the card or else. That's what kicked them all out. Real conservatives don't want to tell you what to do. They want out of your life. They want government out of their life. Sorry, it's my rant for today.
Can I finish my joke now? All right. Anyway,
now
so
there's
that's
a joke.
how you define conservative as smaller government.
Yes.
Then, if that's the only thing you would be encompassing, I'd put myself in that. But I just kind of refuse because I still think.
Oh no, because they got Trotskyites. The neocons are Jewish Trotskyites who have taken over the Republican Party, hijacked it, and it's not the Republican Party of the past.
It's not, but I still wouldn't put myself in a category of liberal or conservative.
Well, like when that classic appearance when Ron Paul, who I also hate, appeared on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson treated him like a space alien. Ron Paul just read out the classic Republican platform, and Tucker Carlson acted like he had never heard it before, and that America had never heard it before, and he treated him like some kind of space alien. What are you talking about, weird old man? And he wasn't even talking about the other stuff he talks about. Just that appearance, he just talked about the old Republican Party and listed off the platform, and they acted like they'd never heard of it before. And that's a guy younger than me with a bow tie. What are you, Orville Redenbacher's grandson? What's going on?
Anyways, I had this argument with this gay guy, and he wanted to say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have you arrested for a hate crime." I'm like, I'm Hispanic. Let's start the hate crime Olympics and see who wins.
No. Hate crime never benefits anybody. It's always a trick. There's no hate crime that's legitimate. It's only if you're attacking the New World Order. It doesn't even help Jews. It just helps the New World Order. That's all. You wonder, why does the ADL pick this case or that case? Why does the ACLU pick this? They only defend the New World Order. They don't defend you. You show up there, tell them about your hate crime. They won't do shit to help you. You could be gay and be dragged up just like the other guy. Unless you're politically involved in the New World Order, they will not help you.
Well,
Try it.
You're right about that, because there was a case where 2 black guys beat up on a Latin guy, and it was found to not be a hate crime.
Absolutely. They're not going to do crap to help you, the Goyim. Are you a Goyim? You're not. You don't count.
There's no such thing as a Goyim. I've told you this before. It's Goy, which is singular, and Goyim, which is plural.
All right. Conjugate, Mr. Hebrew.
Well, I'm not Mr. Hebrew. We need to get these things accurate.
I know. I'm always the picky one in these other cases, but I blew it here.
You blew it.
I blew it.
You blew it continuously on that one. But,
I knew he was gay.
No. Goy.
Boy.
Blowing shit. What the fuck?
yeah.
I'm like, seriously. This is gonna have to be edited out.
No.
Nothing is being edited. This will not be edited.
Absolutely not. It's hard enough to get 3 hours on tape. What are you joking? We're not cutting. Radio was very hard.
Especially the way you do it.
Oh my.
I get called up and I don't know if I'm on air or not.
Yeah, we need Don for structure. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Views expressed by Estatios are solely his and his alone.
No. We're all. This is the Freeman concept. So we're. It's not a free for all. It's responsibility.
I do not contract with your views. I will not contract to your views. I do not consent to your views.
There's no hate crime law. There's a hate crime act.
Yeah.
And the Hate Crime Act is a piece of paper. Okay, people?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean nothing.
Yes. So that means I could go out and whoop some black guy's ass and just send the.
Nope,
send
that harms a
the-
human being. You're screwed. You can't break one of the 3 laws.
Okay,
And
so
by the
that-
way, there's a Patriot Act.
All right. So in that case, I'm gonna
The
just start
Patriot Act.
running.
It's because it's an act. It's not real, okay? You're acting. I made it funny, okay.
Start running around with a water gun and just catch people that way, because you're not harming them. You're just wrecking their day.
Well, I don't know. Once you get that notice of understanding and intent from that really wet guy that you bombed with a balloon there.
That's kind of touching his. That might be impeding.
You hit him with a big water balloon, and he's got his notary,
Son of a bitch. Oh, I actually figured out, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I just have an idea who to go to when I want to serve someone with a notice of intent. It would be the New York State Sheriff.
Yeah, they redid the New York State legal system so that the justice of the peace does not exist in the way it used to be.
So it would have to be the sheriff that does that.
Yeah, they're order takers, and they'll be shocked that they'll actually help you do this. They have to. They're stuck. Other than that, if they step off that little piece of paper, their bond, they're screwed. They can't. They have to do it for you. A judge has signed it.
So basically, if you don't have a justice of the peace, just check out to see if you guys have a.
That's the only state we checked it out. That's the only state where you're screwed, and you're not screwed because Evan Spencer is the one that figured it out.
Yeah, it's the New York Sheriff. So why we even have a fucking sheriff? It's they're the ones that handle evictions and shit.
Yeah, I found the perfect song for you. It's Bob Dylan. Gotta serve somebody. Here.
Oh, what coincidence.
He gotta serve somebody.
I gotta break out now because I gotta go to the doctors. But here's a little Tim Refat.
Jewish cursing technology.
There you go, Jewish cursing technology. Be careful with that; it'll fuck your shit up.
Yeah, you don't want technology that can curse Jews.
Yeah.
Let's say.
All right. So be well, everybody, and stay free. and death to the homosexuals.
all homosexuals.
Nah. I was about to say down with the homosexuals, but I'm not down.
Every word has been taken away from us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going uptown.
Damn it! I like rainbows, and I'm not gay. I want my rainbow back. Bastards. Anyway.
Okay. I'll get your rainbow T-shirt and see how people treat you.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I'm gonna get the black and gray rainbow that says straight.
Wow.
Yeah, Google it. It's hilarious. It's so simple. Alright,
If you haven't heard a song, you should check it out. It's called Taxman by the Beatles.
Oh, I believe everyone on this planet has heard that.
Yes. Taxman.
You can interview dead people. They can tell you the lyrics, too. I mean, everyone knows the lyrics.
A lot of people don't get it, though.
Oh, they don't get it, but they've heard it. The Beatles are not an unknown underground band.
Taxman. It's sticking it to the man. Come on.
He's telling you he's going to tax you.
It's not him saying he's going to. He's pretty much put throughout the song, he's portraying a tax man.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
It's representation of the government. As in a force that makes you have to pay taxes to. That's what it was. Because people didn't understand how politics worked. They only knew about the tax man. There's the person who you have to pay the taxes to.
Maggot, you need to come up with some lyrics to some Stick It to the Man music, and I can be the singer.
I've been doing it for 10 minutes. I got him in the room.
Who's that?
Me.
Stick it to the man! Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a perverted way.
No, I was just bowled over by the singing talent. That was all. Got another Lady Gaga article. That's what I was saying. What a surprise! But it's this might take a while. But I posted links to this a while back a few months back, rather, in the chat room. It's a guy called Gunther von Hagen. I'll show you a link to the site. He does plastinated dead people, and he has them on galleries. And now she's decided to use them on stage.
When I die, this is what's going to be done if I die before Lenny dies. I'm going to have someone stuff me and my body's going to be shipped to Lenny's house.
Really?
Yeah.
And what am I going to do with you?
I don't know. It'd be a good scarecrow.
Yeah, well, I'll actually make you watch all those movies you need to watch.
Dang.
Put you in a chair, you'll watch The Godfather for the first time, and it'll be tough.
Wow.
See, then it won't be able to move, and I'll be able to explain what all the movies mean. That's the important part.
I just don't know that I should watch a movie where they use stereotypical mafia voices.
Where do you think they got these stereotypes from? This movie. That's where they got them from. Everybody loves this film, and they don't want to attack this one. But when any other movie does it, everybody's up in arms. But it's this movie where they all got it from. These two movies, actually. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Because apparently he used real corpses or something and plastinated them. I see.
Well, yeah, the reason they want to attack us is because everyone loves this movie. Both movies. I count it as one movie, Godfather 1 and 2.
How
There's
long
a
is
scene
the
at the
second
end
one?
that really it was an outtake from the first movie, and they just threw it in at the end of the second movie. And it's when Michael has come home after joining the Navy or something, and they had just gotten him out of the Navy because they had all the senators and congressmen in his pocket like dimes and nickels, and so they had gotten Michael an exemption. He wasn't part of the family yet. Not part of it. He was part of the family, but he wasn't part of the business part of the family. And so they had gotten him a deferment and all this. He wasn't in. in the draft right after Pearl Harbor. So he went and enlisted, and they're waiting for the father to come home, and they're all sitting there around the table, and it's just a brilliant scene that encapsulates everything about the movie, and you're just crying. I mean, it's a wonderful scene. That is the whole 2 films in one little shot. It just shows what a great director Coppola is.
How long is the second Godfather?
Oh, I think it's a good 3 hours too. You keep worrying about how long it is. The number of times you're going to rewind this movie. The number of times... No. It seems like it's already over. But you're like, it went by so quickly. You forgot what time it was because you're engrossed in every scene, rewinding a million times. You can forget that third movie. That third movie, they should just burn it. The third movie sucks. And that's the one with all the NWO stuff in it. But I mean, so lame. It's the first 2. You can't believe how great this movie is. And it's not about, they're not doing wrong. What's really great about it is, that's why it's so connected to that Superman movie that Mario Puzo wrote, the first 2 Supermans. They refer to Michael as Superman, in the book.
Yeah. And was that Michael as Superman?
Yeah. And,
okay.
See, because in the real Mafia, when Superman's about to marry the non-Italian, like you see in the first movie, he drags Kay into the picture, even though she's not even dressed for a wedding to be in the picture. In the second movie, it's more reality based. The Superman movies are more reality based because when Superman's about to marry the non-Kryptonian, the mother shows up from the dead and takes his powers away.
The word Superman comes from Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch.
Well, but okay. What you learn in the second movie?
The cheese concept. It sounded like it said cheese.
I know.
Cheese
but there's more to it. Even George Bernard Shaw made fun of Nietzsche, and he had a play called Man and Superman, where Superman was woman.
I prefer Nietzsche, but yeah.
He was just mocking it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, what you learn in the second movie is that when the Godfather does stuff, see, the Godfather rescued the community from the Black Hand. When the Godfather got here to America, the Italians in this country could not get help from the police. This is very, very similar to our story, Asia Minors coming to this country too. They couldn't get help from the police, and they were being exploited by somebody from their own community who was a gangster. He was the Black Hand. And so everything the Godfather does is what the police should have done. What the law enforcement should have done. He does the right thing. In every example they give you with Robert De Niro as the young man, he's doing the right thing. They didn't get into this because they wanted to drive around in cars and shoot people. It's not Goodfellas. They got into this because they had an oil company, an olive oil company, right? And they wanted to protect their interests, and they were being sabotaged by people from their own community. And they couldn't go to the cops for help. They couldn't go to the courts for help. That's why when you get to the first movie, the whole thing is told into jumble vision. That's the problem with it. You have to reconstruct it in your mind. And they even have a version of these 2 movies where it's told in chronological order, but that sucks. You don't want to see that one. It turns out you have to reconstruct it in your mind. So the second movie gives you the father coming to power and the son coming to power and cross-cutting between them. And so what you see in the second movie is the father is coming to power doing good, doing right every single time. He's protecting his olive oil company and the interest of other Italians who are being abused by the Black Hand. He eventually kills the Black Hand. And it's a good thing. He's stopping crime. And so by the time it gets around to Michael, it's already screwed up. The whole thing's screwed up, and he's disappointed by it anyway, and he dies. And it's become a crime family, and Michael's trying to turn the legitimate, but there's no hope of doing this. Because they're tied up with the Jew, we find out.
Does it actually say that in the movie?
Yeah, you meet Hyman Roth.
Child.
Right.
And Hyman is in like the woman's Hyman. Virgin, basically, is another word. Virgin Rothschild.
And then eventually Hyman Roth wants to move to Israel to escape prosecution in the United States, and Israel won't take him. But so we're talking Meyer Lansky here. You know.
Simon or Hiram?
In the first two movies, all we hear about is how it's the Italian crime family and all this. By the second movie, we learn who they're working for.
Rothschild.
Yeah.
Bastards. That's why Don Perry isn't here. He knew. He did the Cavallo.
Don Perry. Kiss his ring.
Yep. I wonder if there's any web pages exposing Godfather as anti-Semitic.
Of course it is. No, everybody's frightened of this movie.
Because I saw a page calling Woody Allen an anti-Semite.
Oh, Woody Allen! When you do the research like we've done about the Talmud, the more you read Judaism Discovered and then validate it with the Steinsaltz, you start to see what Woody Allen's been talking about all this time. You wonder, why are they so angry? They're so angry at his movies. I always thought they were really funny. I didn't understand that there were these deeper levels to the movies where he's mocking the Talmud in ways that they can't find amusing. There's no way to ha ha ha, that's really funny. Oh no, you slammed the Talmud, you know. You slammed Maimonides. They had this whole thing with a blind doctor and all this in Crimes and Misdemeanors, and the guy gets away with murder. I mean, he won the Academy Award for that, and then they figured it out later. They want him dead. It's like Lenny Bruce. They don't want him to work.
Oh yeah.
When they want to fix it so you can't work, it's not a joke anymore, and they want you gone. You have harmed them.
I think they did a good job on Lenny Bruce, though.
They sure did.
Yeah, it's not around.
They took his cabaret card away in New York. They fixed it so he couldn't work in Los Angeles. And the country wasn't hip enough to handle him in the middle of the country. The only place he worked for years was he would once in a blue moon he'd work at that other guy. What's that? Hugh Hefner had that thing in Chicago. Once in a blue moon he'd have one night. You know. He died shooting up with one hand with his foreclosure notice in the other hand, right on the toilet.
It's so annoying. People invite me to National Dungeons and then they just run around the whole planet. Bastards! It's far more important. They invite me to a party and they're just like, oh yeah, I'll do this stuff in a minute. I'll just run around in circles. No, in this game.
Oh.
It's stupid. I get invited to National Dungeons, which is a special event. They set it all up, and then I turn up. I'll say, invite me to your party. They'll add me, and then they just run off to another part of the planet altogether and just start messing around, doing shopping and stuff.
It's more like international dumb shit. This stuff's all brainwashing. Don't you understand that?
No, it doesn't work. It's symptomatic of social.
That's what it's for.
Yeah, not social stigma, social doctrine.
So anyway, we got
cut
off. So he died with his foreclosure notice in one hand and is shooting up in the other, in the bathroom on the toilet. Famously. And guess who's number 2 on the scene? Phil Spector.
Elvis died on the toilet apparently as well.
Yeah.
Elvis had a secret language with his mum apparently that only they understood.
Well, yeah, he is another one of these famous mother lovers. Houdini, there's a lot of them. They're really creepy. Freud.
Yeah.
And they're obsessed with the mother their whole life. The mother controls their every action. Yeah. Very creepy.
Wasn't that what one of the Woody Allen's films was about, when he was trying to escape from his mum and then she died and then she became this great haunting spirit, I suppose?
Yeah,
I think you said it was like Jehovah.
That was 1/3 of the movie New York Stories.
Yeah.
Where Francis Ford Coppola did one, and Martin Scorsese, I think, was the third one, and Oedipus Rex, and he, just trying to get rid of his mother, she disappears in a magic act, which is great. Yeah. The psychiatrist is like, well, maybe you really have issues with your mother. He says, no, I just want her to disappear, and she does, and she's floating. But then she comes back.
It comes back as this avenging spirit or something. Not even that, just sort of like Jehovah or something. Yeah, just I can see you.
Yeah, and she's humiliating him over his like baby pictures and stuff. She's showing the baby pictures to people in the city. It's really something. Did we lose Michael? Are you on there still?
I'm still here.
Okay. He's disgusted by the show.
Who, Elvis? Oh, yeah.
Elvis, yeah. Elvis is obsessed. See, Elvis had that other twin, and he was obsessed with the twin, and the mother was obsessed with the twin, and she had the lump on the back of her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how all this ties together. Stern used to make fun of it all the time.
I think it's just because he wasn't in on the secret language.
Yeah. Aaron was the brother.
He'd love to have a bit of it, and then he could like try and spend the rest of his life deciphering it, you know, figuring out what they're talking about. And then they talk about sex. They talk about sex. Ugh.
Yeah, well, Stern used to play a really embarrassing Elvis, which I thought was really funny. You can get he had this TV show on WOR. There were 3 channels in the United States that got this great opportunity to be national stations on every cable channel in the United States. And only WTBS made something out of it. WOR and WGN blew their opportunity. They're still on today, nationally. And they just wasted their opportunity. So Stern figured this out, and he... what do you call it? He put a show on to beat Saturday Night Live, and he would do it on a regular basis. He would beat Saturday Night Live with just this crappy show he put on WOR, and it was seen all over the country, and nobody knew to tune into it. And so I've got a lot of those episodes. They're actually very interesting. He had Sam Kinison on. Sam Kinison used to talk about the New World Order. Sam Kinison scared people to death.
That link I posted, Earth People Government. That'll fool you. You won't.
Where? Where'd you post?
Something else. Earth People
down
Government.
Below?
Yeah.
You always make your own room.
Yeah.
Don't make your own room. We have a room.
And we got Caribbean online.
No, he's not on yet. I'm just random.
Frogs, funny noises.
Oh, Lady Gaga's autopsy.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. It's not her autopsy.
Well, if you don't post, I don't see it. It's at the bottom of like 300 conversations. I finally see it.
Could only wish that she was dead to have an autopsy.
Well, but she should have an autopsy now. I mean, it's so grotesque. And...
So I thought about her as I sang at night.
New World Order.
But this is the Earth People Government. It's totally different.
You've got a jailbreak for your phone there, Michael, so that you can go 4.0 on the software. And then you can do backgrounding. You can have the Skype going and then go check our links. You know what I mean? You could be checking the links. But
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Have you linked onto the link? It's just like nothing like New World Order, nothing like the One World Government. Earth People Government on www.earthpeoplegovernment.org. It's the future for humanity. Earth People Government. Yeah. What is the Earth People Government?
They're daring you to oppose it. They're saying, do you share in the idea of a world government? Absolutely not, no matter what.
I know. It's just,
anybody that's into it is going to have to die. It's treason.
No, I want millions of people to vote for this.
Oh,
and
look
be
at
totally
this.
unaware of the NWO.
I voted no. 3 people voted no. 21 people voted yes for world government.
Yeah.
So 87% yes, but it's only 21 people.
It's still, it's just a convenient number. But if everybody wants this, then they won't even realise that the NWO is still doing it, going ahead with what it's doing, and then it's like they'll take over.
Well, see, the thing is, they want you to say yes to world government, and then they shift you over to this world government because it's the only one that exists. So, it just has flaws then. No, it doesn't. It's not flaws. It's wrong.
Well, yeah, it's like when you've got those nutshells and you've got like a coin or something in them, whatever, like a peanut in the middle of one of them, and it's like, was it in his left hand or his right hand? And all the time thinking it's left hand. And last second, you pick the right hand.
Well, they do that on the street in New York,
Yeah. And I'm not saying whether it's right, left hand or right hand. I'm not sure
Monty, too.
Yeah. I'm not saying they pick the right one, but they do that. You change your mind at last second, and it doesn't make any difference because the peanut or whatever, the pearl, usually I suppose it is. Yeah, that's it. It's been in his hand all along. But it's just to give you the illusion of having choice. And all they've done is basically changed the name and a few details. It's like the sort of like UN NATO thing. I mean, they're both working for the same agenda.
It's bait and switch. Bait and switch.
Yeah. I'll read a bit of it out anyway. What is the Earth People Government? It is the name of the website, which literally means government of the people of the Earth.
Now, good luck having that. It'll be governed by elites. Social monarchy.
People of the Earth.
Good luck with that.
The mud people. Humanity has to be considered as a unique people without any distinction.
Because we're facing aliens. Yeah, see, it only works if we're facing aliens and we're not, and, you know.
That's a bit advanced for the people. These amazing people of wiseness and wisdom. Yeah, but that's not...
People of Earth!
People of Earth, we must fight against these evil aliens.
What is that Stern line? He says that at the end of Private Parts. I'm sure you haven't seen that either, right, Michael?
What isn't?
Private Parts?
I've seen My Private Parts, but...
No. Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie.
No.
Really? We gotta get you a TV.
Where do I download this 4.0 thingamajigger?
Well, what you do is go to the update thing on iTunes and just go download the update. Don't do the update. It just says download only.
Yeah.
Don't install it. And then there's a correct way of doing the update.
Wow.
We'll work this out later, but just download it while you're while you're hanging out.
Were to just do the update, what would it do?
Well, it would blow your jailbreak. And then I've got to wait a couple days till they come up with an answer for me. I had to update to the iPod 3G. I had to because I'm stupid. It's like Pioneer Tax or something.
So where would I go on here to just see the update?
Well, it says, see, when you plug in your iPod and you click on the thing on the left, and it says update. See, update and restore?
Oh, I don't got my thing connected to my computer.
Oh, yeah, you can't do it from the phone.
Well, no, I'm looking at iTunes without my phone in it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
See, I've got mine downloaded. I just don't have it installed because there's no jailbreak yet for me. But there is for you. Did you use Spirit? What'd you use?
Spirit.
Oh, crap.
Why?
You're going to have to switch to the other one.
You're the one who told me you Spirit.
I know, it was easier, but...
Yeah. What's the other one called?
Pawnage Tool, I think. I'll do this more exciting radio show later for you.
Wow. How to jailbreak iOS.
Although that's important. You know what I mean? I think it's as important as anything else we talk about, but...
Amazing.
Learning to jailbreak, yeah.
I'm trying to use the Google here, and I got an article, How to Jailbreak iOS 4 with Pawnage Tool 4.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even a 4.01 now.
The dev team has released Pawnage Tool 4.0. Okay. Where do I get it? Okay. All the required files are linked at the bottom. Download and put everything in a folder named Pawnage on your desktop for quick access.
People of New York, people of Earth, we are gathered here today in praise of me.
What was that? Just a propos?
Private Parts at the end when AC/DC is there and they've just trounced Imus for the first time, and he's the #1 radio show. He managed to beat the Date and Time channel. which was theoretically impossible because of the number of units. He actually was #1 opposing...
That's like the talking clock that we have
the date, time, and weather. He managed to beat that channel.
Did he provide a link to a website that does it automatically or something?
What? No, this was in the 80s he beat that.
Okay.
This was impossible. They just had come up with this, and it was so popular that they thought, well, you're never going to do this. He killed all the other radio stations.
Yeah.
The world is mine.
Well, he did it with it's not the usual Jewish method. It's unknown. He abandoned the Jewish method. They would never support him anyway. They hate him. So he did it with merit and quality and honesty, and I mean it was incredible. And the guy just abandoned everything and did it with talent, sheer talent. And they would take the worst radio station in the world, in any city. If you were at the zero, your station would pick up Stern because you were desperate, and they would go to number one instantly and kill all the other stations in town. And what was really interesting is his own syndicator didn't believe in him, so they could have put especially near the end, they would own 4 or 5 stations. Infinity would in the local town that Stern wanted to go to, but Infinity wouldn't put them on their own stations. It was always like the most desperate station in town would pick up Stern and humiliate his own parent company by making that station would become number one, and Infinity's own stations would go down the drain. And they could have made more by putting him, and they could have made, brand and synergy and all this stuff they always talked about, and they would never support him. And he existed up till the end on the money one channel would get, and he had like 64 channels, and he could have had 64 times the budget, but he didn't. He only had one budget. And he was kicking the ass of everybody with quality and merit, earning his way. And then anybody, the biggest nobody in radio, gets ownership, not him. They would never give him ownership. Not to save his life, they wouldn't give him ownership. To this day, he doesn't own a single radio station. Cousin Brucey is rich. Cousin Brucey, whose entire greatest hits is a half an hour long, because it's all sound checks of 20 seconds and 30 seconds and 15 seconds. That guy, Stern talks for 5 solid hours on the radio, and no commercial, you know what I mean? Now.
What's Ultra Snow?
Ultra Snow? It's another one of these jailbreak deals. Watch out, some of them are scams. I know the rhyme and reason. Here's Green Poison, too. See, I grew up as one of these stupid hackers. I wasn't hacking a bank because I knew there was no hope. The only time that's ever succeeded is during the movie Ghost.
Superman 3.
You had to have a ghost. No, to successfully get the money, you had to have a ghost help you sign the signature card.
Yeah.
So there's no hope at all of winning in that scenario. So I knew that cracking commercial software was the right way. So all these people that claim to be like the hackers or whatever, and they're 14 years old, they're not 14-year-old. They're 40. Nobody who's 14 years old today cares about 80-column text. They've never heard of 80-column text. Mm-hmm. They don't know why you'd want that. So anyway,
they might blame it at 14-year-old so that they can't get done.
Yeah, they always blame that. Yeah, but the thing is, I know the 1, 2, 3 jump of Nintendo. You know what I mean? To know the rhyme and reason of all these stupid hacks and all this stuff and whatever that you can't explain to somebody to save their life. No. I mean, Michael here, what self-respecting kid today lives under parental control, where they're keystroke monitoring you? I can turn on Simple Finder on the Macintosh and break right out of it. And we're supposed to have the best security there is, and you can't break in, but I can break out. I can get out of these restrictions. I put keystroke monitors, I put all this stuff on myself just to see if I could bust out of it still, to see if I'm old, you know what I mean? I'm not old. I'm young. They're old.
You're an old man.
Old. Not me. These horrible children, they depress me to death. They're like, well, we know we're being keystroke monitored, but did you break out of it? No. So do you know where the secret levels are in the game? No. We just play the straightforward game. Oh, really? I never played that Super Mario Flat ever.
No.
Never. It depresses me, you know what I mean? I get really depressed. I see these children and I talk to them. I can't talk to these children today. They don't have any spark. They're like it's like the Simpsons thing, except they don't have the cheap clothes of gray that when they went out in the rain and they got all psychedelic.
Yeah.
When I was in school, we got around the website blocks and all that.
They got these children now. Well, see, but your group depressed me, but these new children depress me even more. Okay, so you could get around that, but you guys didn't get around everything.
No, we didn't.
I got around everything there ever was. When we first got the cable and the TVs with the blocking the channels, I immediately blocked the sports channels out. Yeah. I was the one running parental control.
Yeah. I remember I was on an airplane once, and there was like 2 levels. There was like sort of like elite class and like the public class or whatever. And we had TVs controls. And so the elite would have their like posh TV, you know, like 50 movies or whatever, and we'd have like 3 crappy movies, and I hacked it so we could watch the elite movies, and not only managed to hack it on mine, I managed to hack it on the rest of my families, which was a real nightmare because they're total morons, you know, they wouldn't shut up. Shut up. Yeah. And how do you do it again? How do you do it again? So and so's gone and broken it. Oh, we have to do it again. And it was like so complicated. You almost had to write it down. But I managed to do it like 5 times in a row. And so we watched all the posh films. And it was really funny because like we'd turn the volume up and they'd come snooping around. And they're like, "Who's watching our movie?" sort of thing, you know. And it's like, "Quick, turn it down. Put it onto the regular TV."
Oh, they're always impressed when I do it. They'll come sit over and watch. You know, whoever's in authority, they're just shocked that I've beaten the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wasn't doing it to show off. I was doing it because I was bored. It was like an 8-hour flight or something.
Right.
3 movies over an 8-hour flight.
I've not done it on an airplane, but I've done it in every other situation I've run into. I've never been on an airplane that had that.
Yeah. So
I gotta fly around so I can try it. I still have a passport. It hasn't expired yet.
You have a passport?
I still do. It hasn't expired yet.
They tracking you.
It doesn't. I had the last before the RFID chip got in there.
Shit. If I ever want to travel, I'm gonna have to get that fucking chip on it.
I know. It's important.
I'm depressed.
We can't allow ourselves to be tracked.
Is there any way to disable it without my thing being rendered invalid?
That's going to be the thing. We're going to have to find out other methods of doing it. I mean, I guess we're just going to have to use the family Bible. That's still a valid method of passport. Did you know that?
What's a valid method of passport?
The family Bible. Your names are all entered in the family Bible?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people don't have one of those because they've been de-Christianized like Maggot over here.
Is there any actual news today?
What about, can we get a family Tao Te Ching?
Well, no, I see you drifting away from Orthodoxy now.
Yeah, I'm just sick of it.
That's because you didn't make it to the Greek Orthodox Church.
I'm sick and tired of it.
You got to go to the Greek festival. You'll be convinced.
I don't like the OT, so why should I like the MT?
Well, that's because you went to the Bizarro Orthodox Church. That I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah, I know, and I know I'm pretty good at knowing the doctrines of the Greek Orthodox Church, but I mean,
they're just more fun. They're fun. There's activities. There's excitingness going on, and nobody's screwing anybody over.
I see what you're saying on things, and I know where you're going on the Great Schism and all that, and I can get that. But then it goes back, and we're dealing with things that are said in the Old Testament and New Testament, and that's what it all goes back to.
But I've never heard it interpreted as telling you what to do. It's never that way.
Well, the church itself might not, but I mean, you look at the Bible itself. Yeah.
We never heard the Old Testament ever really brought up. It never comes up.
Probably doesn't. The New Testament has some things I would call boo-boos in there. But,
yeah. And that's the best part about the Greek Orthodox Church. You get to fight. I love fighting. There's nobody fighting for slavery, though. I mean, you get to argue all the time. I love argument. But nobody's arguing about religious doctrine, usually. I've never really seen that. And nobody's arguing on the side of, like, tell you what to do. Never seen that.
Why don't they argue their way out of Turkish people taking over their homeland?
Well, that's why they had to kill us, you see. I mean, we are really tough to deal with. I mean, just annoying as it gets. I understand why they wanted to kill us. It's wrong to do that, but I get why they would be driven to that point. I mean, 10 minutes of talking to us is just... Well, you should get into a whole bunch of us talking together, and you'll see why.
Oh, God, please shut up!
Yeah, there's no hope at all.
We're taking it over, shut up.
Yeah, we're the most annoying people in the world. See, the Jews are trying to put something over on you. We're trying to put something... We're trying to be right, too. See... You understand why they want to win and shut you up. We don't want to do that. We want to argue with you for the rest of your life and freak you out. We never shut up. Ever. That's why the Jews don't argue with us. We have no experience of arguing with them. They don't want to argue with us. They don't ever come around us, ever. They know exactly who we are, and they don't want to talk to us. They've argued with us before, and they don't want to do that. Ain't no better than that. They're actually pretty smart on that topic.
Should we argue with them? No.
No way! It's the first time you ever see Jews have some sense. They don't want to come argue with us. See, because they're not trying to argue and be correct. They don't care if they're right or wrong. They just want to hit you over the head and win, or whatever they have to do. We want to actually be correct. We don't want to win if we're wrong. See, that's no good. They don't know what to do then. We come back later with books and stuff.
You think they'd argue with Mike Delaney?
Well, see, it's easy. He's not that bright. He doesn't last that long.
No,
a couple of rounds with him, he won't make it to round 2. Then we have little old ladies that can really argue. You know what I mean?
I mean, what has he done? I mean, he waves around some signs, fine, but he didn't even make missing links. I mean, what? No,
there's no chance that he made that. There's no chance at all that he made that. Wait, I mean, I have all the old tapes from that other guy. You see the quality of this guy's art. Even though, like, if you see his new movies, you just have to turn the sound off. Those movies are good with the sound off. You can't stand to listen to his crazy talk, but man, his new movies are still good. Even his use of graphics
they went and took the creative genius of the guy, and then they totally made him crazy, so it would be useless for anybody else.
It is useless. That guy is useless. John Allen Martinson. But his talent, if we could just tie him up, you know what I mean, and not let him put his crazy other thoughts in there, just visual. You know, he's got visual style.
Yeah, but he's too far jaded now, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, well, the one world Nazi party with the swastika. Are you insane?
Yeah, he's so well organised, he doesn't even record conversations. It's just
us controlling that.
I fell asleep in the middle of the interview.
I have no secretary. I am one world Nazi party. Just like the Nazis, we have no secretaries.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, it's the world's worst form of government, so you don't want to do that. But as far as graphics go, God, he's fantastic. I gotta admire someone who knows how to make a film, you know, but not if it has to be about that.
Yeah. He modelled himself on the SS, I imagine, in his daydreams, but he's got no secretary.
He's black. He can't. He's half black, half white. There's no joining for him, and there's no joining for me, by the way. And by the way, there's no joining for Michael.
No, I've been kind of. You see, the first thing is I defeat these people's arguments, and they're like, "Well, the only person who could do this is someone of a questionable race," and yeah, I am. Okay.
Oh, they're thrilled to claim I'm in, but they know that I'm not in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only.
I'm not in the right racial group. Somewhere they'll find somebody with a book and they'll look it up and they'll go, "He's not in." Yeah.
Well, they look like.
Well, see, they know you're not in. They hear Sicilian, you're not in. They think Spartan. We're not Spartans. That's a different group. They're nuts. But
you defeat these people's arguments, and I mean, they think they're intelligent enough to defeat your arguments in that, and then they're like, "Well, you must not be our kind, are you?"
Yeah, they're just so dumb. They really have that Alabama thing to them, even though they're not from Alabama.
Even though their accent doesn't sound like it, their mentality really is. And basically, what it comes down to, my family's had multiple run-ins with people from Alabama, and they're all backstabbers.
Yeah. You better move up north. There's that Mason-Dixon line, or at least go south to Florida. You're in big trouble where you are.
I grew up south of the Mason-Dixon line in southern Illinois.
Yeah, but if you go back north, in Florida, Florida's the north. You cross that Florida border, that's the north again.
It's kind of like that. I mean, instantaneously. I mean, you are in southern Georgia, and you hear people's accents, but then you cross the Florida line, and you listen to them talk at like a gas station right after you crossed. Totally different.
Yeah, it becomes America again.
Becomes America again.
Yeah. They're just out there.
Yeah. I mean, we're in northern Georgia. We cross the next town over, Chattanooga. I mean, it becomes totally different just by doing that. I mean, it's just really weird.
You should hold your phone out the back door so Maggot can hear the dueling banjos.
No, I don't think you'll hear dueling banjos if I hear my phone out the door.
No?
No. There's no dueling banjos.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Let's see.
Get them pandas down.
Any dueling banjos?
Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, it's really frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael has to stay indoors, and he has to wear 2 pairs of pants. It's really tough.
What?
Yeah. Get over that log. Get them pandas down. That's what they're saying to the guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it's another movie you haven't seen. Tell me. You haven't seen that one either, right? Deliverance?
Deliverance? No, I've not seen it.
Oh, my God. Come up here. I'm mailing you discs. That's the end of it. I'm mailing discs.
I was told to tell you that you sure do have a pretty mouth.
Yeah, see, everyone in America knows that movie, even if they haven't seen it.
I hope you heard that. I didn't say it.
Everyone knows it. Yeah.
See, I have seen the movie. I know that quote.
James Dickey's in the Truth Movement, and he's a big player in it. And he won't bring that movie up in his interviews.
You saw Deliverance?
Yeah.
No, my mom's saying she saw Deliverance.
Everyone has seen Deliverance but you.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. Yeah, she said a line from the movie is, "You sure do have a pretty mouth."
Yeah, there are comedians on stage tonight who will actually refer to it.
You do have a pretty mouth? Okay. Shout.
Here, memorable quotes from the movie.
Why has everybody seen these movies that I have not seen?
Because you don't pay attention. I don't understand. The Godfather, but so many others. I've listed off 100 movies, and you've never seen them.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of watching to do. I bet you could squeal like a pig. Whee! Like a pig.
But I did see Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap was good.
I did see that show. Okay, I saw it.
Okay.
No, I don't want to be a child of the corn.
That's a good one too. That's actually something worth watching. That's a Stephen King short story that turned into a movie.
Yeah.
Stephen King short story turned into a movie?
Stand By Me was a short story.
Stand By Me?
Yeah, that was a short story from Stephen King.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a group of 4, and 3 out of 4 have been made into separate movies. Shawshank Redemption is also a short story from the same book as Stand By Me.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie too.
So my question is, what would I gain from these movies?
Culture, references. This is how we describe the New World Order. We refer to these movies that give you a little bit taste of it, and then we talk about how the New World Order is.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you even understand what the New World Order is without having the references to go with it.
Wow.
I'm shocked.
Oh, I had to kind of go about it the boring
You always
way.
join the Earth People government. It's there for people like you.
So, what's
flowers in your hair.
what's the description of how that works, Maggot?
What? How cultural references work?
Earth People government, whatever.
I don't know. Just look it up. I posted a link to it earlier. It'd be perfect for you. Wear flowers.
Did they describe some elite squad?
It's always elites. There's no chance of it being anything but social monarchism.
It's all humanity united together, regardless.
That's what they tell you.
Well, why can't they ever just say we'll take down the borders, but people like have their own lives?
Oh no, it's all about micromanagement of your life.
Well,
That's the most important part.
Like if someone said, we're not going to have any machines or people or anybody controlling you, but we're just, everybody's just deciding, well, we're going to take down these borders. I've never heard that. I've never heard that. Nobody says that. Like they try to trick you into this like technocracy with the Venus Project, and I don't want a part of that.
Well, that's theosophy and everything all tied up into one.
Yeah, and they tried to pull Krishnamurti in there with them, and I don't forgive them.
Right.
Poor guy. The Theosophists tried to use him as their world leader, and he left, and they're still trying to pull him into it.
Yeah, think how cool that is. He abandoned them.
He abandoned them. He there was a specific order, I think it was called the Order of the Star or something like that, that was meant to put that forward that he was world leader, and he disbanded it and everything.
Yeah.
He just said screw that, and he just went around speaking on whatever he wanted to say.
Well, the Dalai Lama's the wrong guy too, right? They kidnapped him as a child. It's the wrong guy.
I don't appreciate the Dalai Lama.
Well, no, it's not. He's a Chinese guy. They kidnapped the Tibetan Dalai Lama. That's probably bogus too. But this is not the right guy. This is the one the Chinese government came up with.
Yeah. I know it bores you, but I'd rather see some guy speaking some Japanese Zen dude who hasn't been brainwashed.
Oh, Zen is Buddhism is such an awful religion. If you take the Taoism out of Buddhism, Buddhism sucks.
Dude, but you look at.
I love Taoism, but I'm not a Taoist anymore.
You look at the Pali.
I'm sticking with the religion of my people.
You look at the Pali Canon, and these things that you were calling Taoist, rightfully so. Were originated before it came in contact with China or any of that. So it doesn't have to do with having a run-in with the Tao.
Buddhism sucks.
It's just kind of like these things kind of arose in these people on their own.
No, that's what they want to tell you. That's what all these people always want to tell you. They always want to tell you that they came up with it on their own. That's what the NWO has rewritten all the old mythologies.
I'm not claiming they came up with it on
and they claim Osiris is always Lucifer worship. It hasn't in the past been that. They rewrote everything.
That's stupid.
That's very stupid.
But what I'm saying is you see, the Pali Canon, the oldest Buddhist canon, you see ideas of, what you're calling the Tao, and this is, way before they had a run-in with China.
They didn't write the Tao down for many years. The guy was telling them, don't write anything down.
But
when the king wanted to see him, he left.
What I'm saying, though, is, maybe they had run-ins with someone in India who knew what the Tao was. I don't know. But what matters is the truth.
He ran west. He ran west.
But myself... Yeah.
No, you're drifting. You're what you do. You think it's funny to keep drifting religions. That's not funny.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do. You've been through 75 religions. It's not fair. You and the 75 religions. None of them respect you.
It's just kind of... It's not really...
You went to the Nicene Orthodox Church. Wrong church.
I wouldn't even describe it as religion.
What do they know?
Wouldn't even describe it as religion, though. It's just kind of a viewpoint.
Viewpoint. Disingenuous drifting through religions. Yeah, wait till you get the big spank's gonna come.
Who? What?
You're gonna get spanked like you never imagined.
Spanked by who?
Big JC's on his way, and he's gonna get you.
Spanked by the monkey.
He's the kick-ass Christ is showing up. He's gonna kick your ass.
Well, when he doesn't come and you die.
Oh no. This is it. They're playing Endgame now. The NWO. They know it's the Endgame. The NWO's not joking around now.
That's kind of a cop out for people to not want to do anything. You know, JC will take care of it.
Oh no. We're taking care of it. If we fix the problem before he arrives, then he can just take a nap. You know what I mean?
This will be dealt with.
Oh no, it's not an excuse not to do anything. It's like and plus I've got to cut off the head of the 7 dragons. You know what I mean? I'm our Evstratios. All the other ones I ever met were 95 years old. They're all dead. I'm the last one.
Okay. I talked to a Christian the other day, and he was telling. He was talking about the Antichrist and all that type of stuff. And I said, if a world leader comes, you know what I'm going to do? He said, well, I'm going to shoot him in the head. He said, no, you're not. Jesus is going to take care of it when he comes back.
Oh, no. And you're not going to be able to shoot him in the head. What we're going to do is he won't want to talk indoors because he'll know it's a Faraday shielded room. And we'll say, you really are the Jesus. You need to come into the auditorium and talk to us. And so then you turn on the power and he's stuck in the Faraday shielded room. That's the key. You know what I'm saying?
He'll be shot.
Like Superman
you can construct a Faraday shielded room in a semi-outdoors environment too.
I don't want to mess around. I want him dead.
Well, no, you're not going to be able to shoot him, but you are going to be able to trap him with electricity like that.
Yes, I will. He will die.
It's like they did in Superman 2 when they put Superman in that shielded crystal.
Yeah, and then you just keep shrinking the Faraday shielded area, and then he shrunk, and then you put him like in a little aspirin bottle. You know?
No, he will die.
He's like Genie.
Whatever it's very difficult. We'll find a way to kill him, but we have to trap him first.
Jesus. Oh, okay, that's all right.
Not Jesus. Jesus isn't bound to this crap. You'll notice that the real Jesus won't have these problems. Jesus will walk indoors. You know what I mean? This guy will be extra frightened about Faraday shielded environments.
You get it wrong, can't you, when it actually happens?
Yeah. I mean, there'll be a night and day difference.
It's like in Superman 2.
Yeah, if you can trap him, he's not Jesus. Okay.
They did the same thing in Superman 2. They tried to trap him in this crystal, and then they wanted to leech away his powers and transfer it to them.
You know how they trapped the 3 criminals? They do credit card debt. Remember that? They were trapped endlessly in the universe in this big credit card.
Oh
you know there was symbology there, right? It was MasterCard.
When the world leader is killed and JC doesn't come back, I don't need any gratitude.
Oh no, man! You dumped JC. You're in big trouble now.
I won't need any gratitude.
Oh my! When the big wings sprout, Michael, I'm gonna buzz your house, and you're gonna say, "Oh my God, it was true."
Yeah. The prophecy says.
You think it's all funny till the big wings sprout, right?
And you keep waiting to stand up.
When the wings sprout, man, I'm gonna come buzz your house. I'll stop by.
Welcome to Religious Crank Radio.
If you come by my house, I will hold up a Mac and destroy it.
I will buzz the house like you won't believe.
I'll destroy a Mac in front of your face.
Oh no, I'll heal the Macintosh.
No.
That's what I have the power to heal Macintosh now. You know, I don't need any special ability for that.
No, you didn't do that.
He's the value-added reseller. He's added value. No.
I'll be like, I changed Mac over to Ubuntu.
It already does that. That's that stupidity. What's it called? Boot camp. It's the boot Windows. Like anybody in their right mind would want to do that with their Mac. They paid a fortune for a Mac, and now they want to boot Windows. Right? Tell me the killer app that requires that. I've been down ever since we can do like wine and stuff. I have wondered what is the killer app that they all desperately need from Windows. And I have downloaded all the Windows software, the most expensive Windows software. I can't find it. What's the killer app? Oh, we have to still stick with this. You know they even make that stupidity Steam for Macintosh? Oh, we have to play the video game. Well, they make Steam too, don't they? Everything. There's no, and there's nothing you can't do. I'm trying to find the one thing you can't do, and I can't find it.
Hang on a minute, chaps. I'm dealing with another call.
Okay.
Emergency style.
Who just said that?
I will be back and let you know the progress.
Okay.
That was me. It's another voice of mine.
We're not the mature show he's used to today. The dignified program today. We don't have that.
I knew that wasn't Maggot.
No.
But it was.
Yeah, welcome to American Freeman, and everyone comes on with an English accent. It's really sort of funny.
Yeah, I know. You puny American scum!
Hey, we know where to import you guys, when necessary.
You need our talent. Our culture. Our areas.
That's right.
You're just a bunch of peasants.
I'm really developing a utility belt here. I've got the knife, the camera, I'm not carrying the laser pointer. I've never carried that.
You're basically trying to become Batman with black.
I got the laser, yeah.
Yeah.
But soon the wings will sprout, Michael, and then I won't need any of that.
Yeah.
The wings will sprout.
The wings will sprout. I'm going to show you a picture of my back, and then when the wings do sprout, no more laughter then after that. I'm gonna smack you.
Well, it'd be funny if you find yourself trapped in the room and your wings are too big and you can't ever get out.
Casey's a little more clever than that,
one of those
isn't he?
doofus superheroes who can't get his wings to expand and retract.
He'd just be trapped in the room, and then there was build a cage in the room and laugh at the angel can't escape. Knock down one of the walls.
You're like, I'll help you. I'll cut off your wings so you can get out.
Yeah, my grandfather explained that I'm him, and that I have a special stuff I've got to do, and all this, and then they told me about the 7-headed dragon and all this, and so anyway, it's all a big joke till the wings sprout. Then it won't be funny anymore.
No, you've got to make sure you're outside when the wings sprout.
Well, no, I think you can fold them. I don't think that there's a problem there, but if there is, I'll work something out.
You should go to Brussels, and then you can get Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, that's what the children of Brussels are called. They call them Brussels sprouts.
They call them sprouts, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to the word sprog.
The children of Brussels.
The Brussels sprouts. Because they're green and they smell.
Yeah.
They're vegetables.
They're not that bright.
He's the last of the protest singers.
Radio is hard. Got half the show left.
Yeah.
I put all my frozen stuff away. That's how I can do a lot of this stuff.
Where's that one guy who was trying to get me mad?
Who? Oh, Louis B. Oh, you mean Don? Don is moving today. He's getting divorced. Again.
The day after he's celebrating his engagement.
Yeah, it's anniversary and all that. And now
Yeah, it's anniversary. Yeah, I forget this new agey wedding and stuff.
That's not new age. Your anniversary is not new age. They didn't have new age in the 1800s.
Marriage stuff is just totally just you might as well be talking Martian.
Oh. I believe they had anniversaries before now.
Yeah, I know they do.
I don't know. I need more Los Lobos.
I just spotted a flying pig in this game. I'm only pointing out because Dan Chicken said, "Look, a pig!"
Speaking of new age, you're the one playing all the games.
Yeah.
That's where they teach you all that stuff. You've been
Yeah.
brainwashed.
I just saw some fairies fly by. I'm a nature.
I just saw I was fighting a flying pig.
See, and they always base it all on all the real stuff, and so that it just mocks all the reality. But see, they can't invent anything, so they have to take our stuff and pervert it.
It's not a flying pig, it's a chimera. He's lying.
And then I always hate how they always try to tramp through Greek with it all, as if that makes some sense, and as if that's correct. It's not.
Well, yeah, they just have to describe everything as they go along. It's fun.
And the all the Star Trek aliens, they're always using like Greek word roots because, as you know, in outer space, all the alien races all give a damn about Greek. Like, why would they care?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they have their own culture?
The Greeks kind of like smashed up whole creation.
We're the Octo-Deco people, you know.
Yeah. That's why the civilization became so decadent by the time it reached Earth. The Greek Empire, which spanned the whole galaxy, was at its end.
But it's always ancient Greece. They will never mention Byzantium. It's always ancient Greece. They have to. They can't ever mention the real thing.
I mean, I could join the New Age any day of the week, so I just made that up, and I could like do that as a really convincing story.
Right.
The same with the Roman Empire. Yes, and the Greeks are from the star system, are from the galaxy. You people.
The Roman Empire is Greek thought version 2. The Byzantine Empire is Greek thought version 3. It's still not Roman because when we withdrew from Rome, they went back to being the Roman army. You know what they do? Surrender. Yeah, they surrender. They're not. You know, the Roman army's not known for anything. It's us. We were the ones hopping them up, including Sicily. That's us. We left ancient Greece in ancient times, and going after that classic period of classical Greece, we left going in two directions: Asia Minor and Sicily. And that's us. That's not the... Notice that they have no connection whatsoever to the Northern Italians. And all the names of the cities on Sicily are all Greek names. There's a reason for this. Because it's us. There's only 3 influences on how we live every day.
Maybe you're some kind of long-lost brother.
Surely. But the thing is... there are only 3 major influences on your everyday life. There's the Byzantine Empire, there is the Chinese, and there's Tesla. He's one guy. Just Tesla. I mean, he's not Serbia, Tesla. Just him. There's not. We couldn't even
one
do
guy
it.
With sticking to his string.
Yeah. Think of how important Tesla really is.
I traveled back in time and gave him the Tesla coil.
Really? You know, they even have the gall to claim that he went to the Vatican Library and all this stuff. He's Serbian Orthodox. So you're saying they let him in? Really? I don't think so.
He didn't travel. Well, he did travel around, but he wouldn't travel between England.
How does a Serbian Orthodox guy get into the Vatican Library? He doesn't.
It was Leonardo da Vinci who's the Vatican.
Yeah.
Go between.
The thing is that with a lot of these Renaissance type people, the Turks took over in 1453, and you had a lot of Byzantines running west to escape the Turks, and they all didn't want to tell you their names, and there's a reason for this. They're us. And Wikipedia has a really good article about this, where they explain that it's us. I thought that's pretty cool for Wikipedia. I downloaded all these Wikipedia articles in case they disappeared, but they haven't. People will go to the front page of the Byzantine Empire and stuff. They'll go, I didn't see what you were talking about, because they only do like the most surface possible research.
Yeah, I know.
You've got to move deeper. Everything is deeper. Wikipedia has a fascinating archive of stuff. You just have to go a little bit deeper than what they tell you on the first page. Or look at the talk discussion pages. But in the case of what I'm describing, that stuff's just on regular pages. Just not on the front page of whatever the topic is. I download everything to make sure that it doesn't disappear. But this stuff hasn't disappeared. Alright, so I wonder what emergency call Caribbean State did.
Still an emergency.
Yeah. I'm going to drag out all my stuff. I rescanned a lot of my... I have 2 different scanning formats for archiving. I lost my first type of archiving because the program got old and whatever, so I had scanned all my disks so I could go look through my archives, and then the program kind of died, so now I have to like rescan my disks to see what's on them. I have a whole generation of disks that I don't know what's on them. And now I've got a program that won't die on me because I can at least export the data and change programs if necessary. But it's sad because I have a lot of music I want to pull off. That now that we have gigantic hard drives. Because the point of burning was to get stuff off the hard drive at first, and it still is. I've got movies and stuff I want to see that I don't know where the hell they are because there's nothing written on the disc. It's just a number.
You didn't do a list of numbers.
I did. I archived the disc. I've made a directory, a catalog.
Yeah,
then the program died. It's been so long. Yeah, on some of the discs, the program died.
You need to print your catalog.
Yeah, I really should.
Bound it up in a binder.
See, the one thing I never got aggressive about was getting a new printer. I need to get actually a slightly old printer. I need one of those big laser printers.
What a big laser printer!
Like I used to have in the old days. I used to have these great, gigantic laser printers. Now I don't have one.
This is what you need if you don't got it, okay? You need a binder, a hole puncher.
Oh, I have bound. All my research is bound. That was another thing that scared the hell out of Delaney when he came here. Because they thought a lot of the stuff I was saying was bullshit. Then they come over here, and even Everett and whatever, they were just stunned by this stuff. By how much there could be. I said, I'm not lying to you. Here it is.
Do you have a hole puncher?
Oh, it's all bound like that. There are these corporate type binding things from companies that I've worked for that gave me some of their stuff, and they're all bound. There are 3 holes, but there's these strings that go, and then you loop them up, and then they're bound solid. And it's a way I printed a lot of the books off too.
Why'd you print books off? It probably costs more than to get the book because you use up the cartridge.
Now, that's the inkjet. I have never used inkjet. I'm a graphic designer. I laser print, Michael.
How does laser printing save you money?
I have a little tiny laser printer. I buy a toner cartridge maybe twice a year. I print constantly.
How many pages do you think one of the cartridges prints?
Oh, it's fantastic. Every time my parents blink their eyes, it's $35 more. They blink their eyes, it's $35. I can't remember the last time I bought a toner cartridge. That's how long it's been. And I print constantly. And the print is you're very happy with the print because even like you spill something on the paper, it's still there. It didn't smear. I don't spill a lot, but I'm just saying it's solid on the paper. Whereas inkjet's a scam on the public. I was from the PostScript days, and see now we have PostScript on the screen, so even like the worst printer in the world is good. I've really survived with this little laser printer for a long time, so long that I haven't, like anybody in the right mind would have gone and got a decent printer by now, but this printer's fine. It's a little HP LaserJet 6L. There are shrines on the internet, you can look them up, where people hate the 6L because it had, like when you use a PC and you have to use PCL or whatever that stupid language is, it's the worst printer in the world. We have PostScript. It prints beautifully. I'm very happy with it. What I want is double-sided again. I need a duplex one. So I'm always flipping the pages over and popping them back in. So I can print double-sided. I tend to print books 4 up. 2 up and 2 back. And then I bind them. My research is solid. And if the computers go off, I've got most of it in print. And the books. I've been slowly buying the books. I got a lot of the books everybody talks about. I really have a copy of Tragedy and Hope. I mean, that just seems useless. But also, you can hit somebody with Tragedy and Hope. It's really big. But if you really want to lay somebody out, you get the Talmuds. Those Talmuds by Steinsaltz are thin and wide, and you can just slam somebody really good with a Talmud.
Is there a way to just get the pages and print them on the Talmud?
Well, if I had some help, I would have this stuff scanned. I wish I had a staff of 100.
Yeah.
Because this stuff is worth scanning. I've never seen the Steinsaltz scanned.
Yeah.
I've got 4 of them. I need to buy the rest of them because there's 15 of them, and they're all used now. I think they're out of print. They're in print in Hebrew, of course. In English.
So they do. So they need to be scanned.
Yeah, they really really do. And this is of a style of publishing. The way that these are you could easily put these in a scanner. They're not. You're not going to break the binding here. Like some books, like I can't believe that guy scanned Judaism Discovered. That's 1,100 pages, and the book is bound like a textbook. How did he get it into the scanner? I mean, he must have broken his copy of it or bought two so he could ruin one and scan it. But this, you could scan the Talmuds without ruining it. I would have stored the damn things outside.
Book from the future.
So,
I had people tell me that the majority of it's boring and you have to wait forever and ever to get to something that's shocking.
The Talmud? No, you can flip through it. It's like the Patriot Act. You get angry, just randomly flip through it, you get pissed off. It's not that dull. And plus, see, if you have Judaism Discovered, which I've got the scan I can send to you. I mean, I've got it both the scan version. I've got even the text, the OCR version someone did. It tells you where to look. It helps you out. Once you start getting into it, you realize this is the most evil book this ever. It blows away any Necronomicon or anything else you ever saw. That stuff's crap. This is real evil. That's why I want to store them outside. I don't want them in the house.
Store them outside.
Yeah. I'm going to find a way to store them out there. I don't want them in the house. It's just evil.
You'd have to get you a weird kind of box. I don't know what you'd get.
I don't know. Big box with a cross on the front of it. Damn evil book. It's not a valid... see, once you see the ins and outs of how Judaism really works, it's not a valid religion that you can argue as being legitimate to be with other religions. It's not valid. It's not... I mean, you can really argue Buddhism. It's not pleasant, but you can argue Buddhism. I mean, to be a legitimate, like, we shouldn't burn the place down. Judaism, there's no argument. It's evil. There's nothing that makes it okay. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have a religion about drinking blood or having sex with children. I mean, there's no Old Testament to it. There's not even a little bit. Nothing. It's all shit. It's a big shit sandwich. Have some. Sprinkle a little Zohar on there, and it'll be throw up. I mean, I really think the general public should know the details of the Talmud because it's not valid. It's not a religion. It's they're a hate group, a crime gang. We really need hate laws about them. We should have a special show on NBC. It should be on. It would be worthless to have it on any other channel. It should be on the front of the TV on the main channel. When you turn it on, you should get this. And it should be on, and it should explain Judaism to everyone.
Yeah.
It's to find out that the Torah is not the Torah. It's enough to gall you to death.
Well, pretty much the 3 laws cover all of it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, think about it. Defrauding contracts.
Right.
I mean, it's all there.
Who has a religion where the hymns actually mention standing? Christ.
Mention standing?
Yeah, that's what the commentary mentions. That it will have no standing. What are we talking about? I mean, even our hymns are in a minor key, and they're not, nasty, horrible. We hate the everybody else religion. I get you like yourselves, but how about like yourself and don't hate everyone else? They never heard of that. And really, they should hate themselves because they're not the right people. Technically, the people who are followers of Judaism who are not the right people should hate themselves because they're the wrong people.
Yeah.
Now we're on to a topic the Caribbean critic loves. It's the other stuff he doesn't want to talk about. The culture stuff.
All those obligations.
He didn't know about this stuff either until recently. Judaism Discovered flipped his wig. He was stunned. He didn't like them, but he didn't know how to talk about it. Then he saw Judaism Discovered and got the other Talmuds. The other Talmuds are enough to kill you. The Steinsaltz is the whopper. Yeah. Because you can get some really good ones on Google Books.
If I could get down there, I would help you scan that shit.
Yeah. I've got scanners. I got all sorts of stuff. And my research is really kind of wasted because of its inability to be used. It's sort of worthless.
How's it worthless?
Because it's all tied up on discs and stuff. It's not active. It's passive. Because it's all tied up. I have to scan my discs again. I got about maybe half of them need to be rescanned so I can find out what's on them. Because when I made the first bunch of discs to give to Freeman Fly, I knew what I had. And then that archive is invalid because I can't use the program. So now I'm on the second half. I made a greatest hits of the movement, 26 discs of just video, but there was text and other stuff, PDFs. That stuff's all in there too.
How many binders how many things do you have binded up?
It's a giant bookcase of just the bound stuff.
Does it have labels?
Yeah. I'm solid. See, I don't really hate Alex Jones like everyone else does because he told me to turn the radio off.
He doesn't do that anymore.
Turn it up, you must hear me. I just had a victory.
You don't buy my DVDs, every single one of you is going to be gunned down in 5 minutes.
And I knew if I just kept collecting that I would get to a point where I could stand on my own 2 feet like Jones did, like William Cooper and those people. I'm there. I'm easily there. I'm certainly no genius. Cooper was a genius because he did it so early, and especially Anthony Hilder and his recordings with Byron Fagan.
Do you have anything set up on this show to take people's calls?
No, we did. We had a live feed so they could hear us.
That needs to be achieved again.
I know. I just need to get a server. It's really cheap.
Do you think there's anybody who actually sits through and listens to these long, boring programs?
Well, they're much better with the music. This one's better with the music. I listened to the John Lennon episode. I still haven't posted that one, and it's really a sing-along news fest. It's bizarre because it's really pleasant. I know you can't imagine the show being pleasant, but it actually is.
I couldn't. I don't know if I could stand going back and listening through the shows.
Yeah. See, I couldn't either, and then I've listened to them with the music back behind them.
Yeah.
They really are pleasant. See, what they really need is like the Stern Show has summaries. The fans do them. Stern never provided that. It's his fans that do it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it possible at the same time to broadcast this on TalkShoe or something at the same time?
Yeah, but you can't go 3 hours.
No, you can't.
Unless you pay.
Huh. There's got to be something out there that you could broadcast it however
Sure there
long.
are. It's Shoutcast, and then you can hear it like on... Have you seen that Flycast program for the phone?
No.
And there's even a Shoutcast program for the phone that's free, too. And then all the other phones can do Shoutcast, too. Now.
Yeah.
And that's how they all do it, Shoutcast. I figured out Icecast. That's what we were using before. Icecast goes to Shoutcast.
With Shoutcast, can you put music on there to play at the intro?
Yeah. Shoutcast is just a directory. They don't care what they're not the ones broadcasting your stuff. They're just pointing people to your server.
They're pointing people to your server. Does anybody have to do something special to get their server?
No. It's all done in the same format. You have to go... It's called Icecast. And that's when Shoutcast... The server component is called Icecast.
Right.
And then I have a program called Nicecast, which broadcasts to the Shoutcast server, the Icecast server. And then all you have to do is put yourself in the directory. And you can also put yourself in the Live 365 directory. A lot of radio shows do that. Even Jones does that.
Something needs to be done
That's easily
live.
done. Yeah.
Something needs to be done live, so maybe here and there some calls can be taken, I guess. Because some people are probably out there like, I can hear this stuff on delay, but I can't call anybody. I can't.
Well, once they hear us, they can actually, they know we're on, so they call us. We've taken calls. Got them stressed. We fixed people before. Quite a lot.
True, but a live sense and taking calls, I think, would be a little better.
Yeah. And see, what Shoutcast does is it's constantly rating how popular you are, so that people go to looking for the more popular shows. Like that horrible Raylan Allen, she's terrible. She has Rumor Mill News. Her show is terrible. But when she has Hawks Cafe on once a week, she beats Rush Limbaugh. She beats everybody. She beats Glenn Beck. That's how cool Hawks Cafe is. Hawks Cafe is the forensics economist.
Yeah.
David Hawkins, who sounds exactly like the Caribbean Critic, by the way. Exactly. Like, I almost think maybe it might be David Hawkins. They're so identical, it's frightening. Because I listen now to the Hawks Cafe on Raylan Allen's show once a week, and I'm thinking, that's Caribbean. That's him. The whole time I'm thinking, because when I hear him, I think he's live. I'm going to ask him a question. I can imagine myself walking over to the microphone and asking him a question because it sounds like him.
Did you ever ask him?
No, I never walk up to the microphone, really.
No, but did you ever ask Caribbean Critic, hey, is that you, man?
Yeah, we told him about it. It's weird. I don't think he's ever heard the show.
Yeah.
That's on abeldanger.net, I believe. ABEL, Danger. Because the reason they call it that is that David Hawkins' partner is Field McConnell. And they're prosecuting some of the lower-level people who are involved in 9/11. And one of those is his sister. Christine Marcy was in charge of FEMCOM and in charge of the prisoner transport system and a few other aspects of this that are directly connected to 9/11 and were part of standing down the government so that the other parts of the government could bomb us.
Yeah.
So they're in court prosecuting his sister, which is really something. So it's Cain and Abel. So it's I think it's Brother Abel, Sister Cain, or something like that. It's one of their books. It's really something. He's prosecuting his own sister, and she appears in court there with him. And she's really angry at him.
Well, yeah.
She's going to the death chamber.
You're my
treason.
brother. You're my own brother. You prosecute.
FemComp is this group of radical lesbian feminists. There actually have to be lesbians to be part of it, and they are well known for operating the government in times of emergency. And they have a website, and they explain this to you. And so David Hawkins refers to them as femme-compromised. Compromised females. The name of the company is FemComp. Yeah. And they do operate our government.
I'm gonna get off this call. I got some things I gotta do. Alright, take care of yourselves.
Where's Maggot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you like that The View from Space, which I'm starting to really like now, check out Hawks Cafe and their once a week appearance.
Okay.
It really is something. It takes listening to it a bunch of times to even understand what they're saying. It's like they're talking over your head. I mean, I really didn't get what they're saying. I'm not a forensics economist. But it starts making a lot of sense, and you see they figured 9/11 out. And they agree with everybody's theory, no matter what it is. Like, the people that had to do the operating of it, no matter who you think's in charge, the operating of it was done by the people they're attacking. The people that held the keys were KPMG. The KPMG client list is bigger than you can imagine. The Department of Justice is a KPMG client. Out in front of the Pentagon, where the plane supposedly went in, where the missile went in.
Yeah.
KPMG has changed their name to something else, and that's stamped on the side of the wall. They were the ones doing the repairs that day. They have all the keys to all the encrypted RSS keys and all those things that would let you talk to the planes.
Yeah.
That's who's the holder of the keys. It's like one of those RICO lawsuits they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's working. They actually found a judge that will take the case. They're doing when you can't get a prosecutor to do the case for you, because that's what our legal system is a joke now. It's that admiralty system where the offense is against the state, not against you. I stole your car, but now it's offense against the state, so you have to pay restitution to the state, and I don't even get a car back. My insurance is supposed to pay for my car, let's say. So, in a situation where you can't get a prosecutor to take the case and call it a crime against the state, as all crimes now are, you can do a qui tam case, which is where you operate the system and you're a prosecutor for this. If you want to operate in their stupidity system.
Wow.
So that's what they're doing. They're doing qui tam, so they're the prosecutor for the state.
Yeah, yeah.
How about the people of New York are the victims of the crime? No? Nope. It's the state. The state has been harmed. Protect the state. That's so stupid. We need the whole government removed. I mean, everybody who works there has to be fired right now. It's an emergency. Finally, it's an emergency. I mean, they always say everything's an emergency. Well, this actually is. These people.
Carrying really critics on an emergency call.
Yeah.
Look, it took over half an hour.
When you take a real emergency call, like I've taken some of these mortgage calls and stuff. See, I know how to do it when, like, remember we had Todd on, and Todd doesn't have an emergency with the bank. He's already paid up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to start it when there's no emergency. I know how to start it when there is one. When they're about to foreclose, I know when you get those calls, they're crying on the phone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta. I mean, it takes a long time I have to let someone talk and talk and talk until I get to the. They will say the thing that will help me twist and fix the problem. The stuff you've got to write on that notice of understanding intent. Sometimes it takes them hours to get to that point. So if it's a real emergency call, he probably has to keep listening until he hears the thing.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the thing. The thing that they'll say. Yeah. Because I don't rush them. I just okay, keep going. I'm sitting there waiting because I know the thing is coming. It is like the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the thing eventually.
As if on some short screen sort of thing.
Now I've got that Guardian app. I just go to the Guardian app and it tells me what the news is.
Oh yeah.
We have no legitimate news in America now.
No.
Not even any. Still this McChrystal crap. Can you believe his name's spelled like that? It's another bogus guy.
Yeah,
like
I know. It's just a Sonic name. Yeah.
You remember what that guy? He held a 3-day symposium or prosecution. I don't know what it was in Portugal. He's an American general. His name was Don de Grand Prix. Nobody's name is Don de Grand Prix.
No,
that's ridiculous.
It's a name that Masons give to actors as well. They just give him like a stupid name. And it's not his real name. It's not like the name. It might be the name he signs, but it's not his birth name or anything like that.
Can't be. Who are the McChrystal family?
McChrystal.
That's our name.
We invented the crystal.
Yeah. From Ruritania, where we're from. That was that made-up country.
Yeah, Crystal, Krypton, Superman. Obama's a black Superman. He destroyed the Crystal City. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is.
He's from Krypton.
Yeah, Superman destroyed Crystal City. Because when he left, the Crystal Planet exploded.
Yeah, and the giant chandelier when he left.
Yeah, that's it.
He travels in a chandelier.
But he sort of felt responsible for the Krypton being destroyed as well.
Yeah.
And all his guilt complexes about it.
No, he's Jewish. He's got a lot of guilt trips.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
He's better than us. He's the chosen one.
And he's supposed to think that Kal-El then, I suppose, is Jehovah, but he can't be Jehovah because the Jews don't even recognise him.
No.
So he had to be Lucifer. Or
maybe
Satan.
he's Rabbi Kal-El. The rabbi is above God.
Yeah.
Any rabbi is above God. If there's a conflict between God and the rabbi wins. There's There's no justification for this religion. It's not a religion, it's a hate group. They're a crime gang. That's why the mafia really does tie into it.
Yeah.
I mean, now I got an iPod app, or iPod article in The Guardian here. 4 British soldiers killed in Helmand province in Afghanistan. David Cameron says Britain is paying a very high price but doing the right thing in Afghanistan. Well, you gotta protect poppies. If there's no heroin, what are we gonna, how are we gonna compromise people? I mean, our people don't want to be gay over here.
And regardless of the fact that most people can't actually afford heroin, the only people that can actually afford it is like the upper class and the elite.
Right, it has to be affordable for the Goyam.
Yeah. I don't think there'll ever come a day when heroin's really available on the street sort of thing, or even like accessible.
It's available on every street corner in America.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can get hold of it, but it's so expensive. It's out of most people's range.
4 British soldiers working with Afghan police in Helmand province have died after their armored vehicle rolled off a road and ended up underwater, said the Ministry of Defense today. That's England's Ministry of Defense. The 3 soldiers from the 1st Battalion, the Mercian, M-E-R-C-I-A-N. Every part of this is like code words, Illuminati.
Yeah, that's just another way of saying mercenary, for some moment. Or is it Mercurian? Like
M-E-R-C-I-A-N.
For Mercury.
I don't know. Yeah, probably that's it.
Yeah. Mercury is the messenger of the gods.
Yeah. And 1 soldier from the 1st Battalion of the Yorkshire Regiment were traveling through northern Narisara near Gershik. Afghan pre-bombing, Afghan post-bombing, same thing.
They just got to bomb somewhere. A bunch of bombers.
They got to practice their bombs because they're coming
bombers.
here.
Yeah, homicidal bombers, yeah.
That's what the Iraq thing is. They're going house to house doing gun confiscation and forcing them to wear RFID things around their necks on little cards. If they want to do any business if they want to sell bread on the street, they have to have an RFID thing around their neck from Halliburton or from one of these companies. Mostly Halliburton. And so that is the Iraq mission, is to go to do gun confiscation in Iraq. So that's why they come and kill themselves here, is they know that this training is to come here and do it to us. That is the entire thing. There is no terrorism over there. They don't want to be searched, so that creates a gun battle in every house that they go to, or every couple houses. I don't know. Some of them probably go along with it. But that's it. There's nothing else. What else are they doing there? Have they explained that to you? Because they never explain anything to us. I've heard it from all the other information I found, but not from the mainstream media. They won't even mention what the activity is over there. And so we assume that they're chasing around looking for terrorism because that's what they tell you, but they don't have pictures of that.
They're securing drug supplies.
Yeah.
They told you this in books anyway. That was the whole plot. Anyway, that was Mission Earth. Was most of the plot was Lombard Hiss was securing the drugs route, and it was going through Afghanistan and whatever from Iraq.
Well, no, Afghanistan's about drugs, but I'm saying Iraq is about gun confiscation.
Oh yeah. It was all to drug the elite so that you can control them.
So that's why they come back over here and kill themselves. They don't want to. They know that this training in Iraq is for doing it here to become police.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that. They thought it was okay while they were over there doing it to somebody else. But when they imagine doing it to their own neighbors, they don't want to do that. Well, Americans aren't going to give up their guns, and they're going to shoot every last one of us is going to kill over this. Yeah. I mean, especially the uninformed. By the time they get to my freaking house, they're gone. I mean, that's Solzhenitsyn talked about that if the raid squad knew that they were going to lose half the squad every time they went out, they wouldn't go out. I mean, that's why he said you should be at the door with bricks and axes and all this stuff. He listed off things that they had since they didn't have guns. If the squad had known that they were going to face this much opposition and lose half the squad, they wouldn't have come. They imagine going and getting you and not losing anybody in the squad. That's why the SWAT team goes out. The fact that they're boneheads in America. Did you know that they come in the front and the back to somebody's house? It's often the wrong house, no less. Yeah. But on a regular basis, they will shoot each other from the front and the back. They come in from the front and the back, and they will shoot each other.
Yeah. And shoot anything in between.
You're on the couch.
Shoot.
You're on the couch, and you've been missed. They shot each other.
Yeah.
And this is such a regular event that they have little ceremonies to reward them as if they're great heroes, that fallen heroes, friendly fire or something. They never mention it's friendly fire. And so that gives them an added impetus to desperately charge whoever it is, because their men died in the duty, you know. They're the ones that killed them.
Americans just love friendly fire.
Yeah, that was most of the people in the first Iraq thing were died of friendly fire.
Operation Desert Storm.
A majority were friendly fire.
Yeah.
And so when they've been playing this game in Iraq, and they've done a lot of gun confiscation, but the Iraqis aren't crazy like we are. We are crazy, and they don't. You know, they know because they're crazy too, but they're not. They're working for a living. That's why Michael in the Godfather Part 2. Remember, he witnesses in Cuba. He sees that the rebels, even in a desperate, stupid ploy, just blew up the police and whatever right in the road. And what he learned from this, he explains to Hyman Roth in the middle of a party, is that the rebels are not paid. They're willing to die for this. And the soldiers are paid to do this. So they only fight to a certain extent because they're paid money to do this. The other group, they don't care if they die. They will win. And so that's why he dumped his investment in Cuba, because he knew that there was no way to beat people who aren't afraid to die.
Yeah.
That's why the NWO has always desperately wanted our guns, but they can't get them, and they won't get them. And they know that. I mean, even that's why I'm saying our troops come over here and kill themselves after they come back from Iraq, because they know that they're going to be facing Americans who are going to not care if they die, and they're going to kill every last one of these people who try to do gun confiscation. That's what Katrina was. It was a gun confiscation drill.
Yeah.
They blew the levees, and they held the food away, and even if you tried to send food, you couldn't send food. They turned that food back. It was about, you couldn't have food or water unless you gave up your gun. Even on dry land. And Americans are also crazy. They film everything. So there's tons and tons and tons and tons of film of them trying this stunt and failing. And there were Israelis on the ground the whole time.
So every time they try it, regardless if it fails or wins, it's going to get up on the internet.
Yeah.
Then people are going to store it, and they just get like a rolling snowball that becomes an avalanche of footage of human atrocities, or whatever you call it, war atrocities.
I mean, that swine flu thing was stopped by people who were uninformed.
Yeah.
We all knew. We weren't taking that thing no matter what. But the people who really put the message across, this was their first and only issue. They didn't know about the rest of this. A lot of them still thought 9/11 was done by terrorists and stuff. Our uninformed people are as crazy as I am. More crazy, probably. I'm pretty darn reasonable, having learned all the details, compared to the people who don't know the details. They're really nuts. When for no reason at all, without any concept of the New World Order, come and try to get your gun. Whoa, try that.
Yeah.
It's the uninformed people that are going to shoot and ask questions later.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Well, it's no more
nuts, you know what I mean? I love
no more complicated than the Rebels versus the Stormtroopers in Star Wars, isn't it? It's like you get the Stormtroopers bashing down your door, and you're just going to react like a rebel. From the Star Wars movies, that's just pretty obvious. You know, you're not going to be like, Mr. Officer, I'm so impressed with your high technology and your big weapons.
Yeah.
You just be like, bang, bang, bang. Okay, bang, 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 back.
Yeah, the whole plan is stupid. There's the rest. I can't believe they disarmed England. I heard about Australia where they showed them crunching the guns up, and I've seen some of the footage. But they made a big deal to show that to the public of Australia. They not only got the guns, but they were grinding them up in big machines. To show them, not only do you not have guns, but we are destroying them. They're not held somewhere. We're taking them and getting rid of them, you know. So, I mean, but what did they do in England? I mean, were you around when they took all the guns away? Isn't the hunt a big tradition there?
Yeah, it hasn't really made a huge amount of difference, though. It's just, I read through the gun regulations, and they're just like, they're not that tight, but I just think people can't be asked. There's not such a gun culture over here there is over in America, though, and they're difficult to get hold of the guns. They've done it all under the premise of the IRA, though, because
I see. The phony MI6 bombing?
Yeah, and they would be really fussy about people hoarding guns over here, because they reckoned it was going to be given to the IRA. So they've already done it, but they've done it before the gun confiscation stuff. They've done it under the premise of the IRA, so they've really got rid of the sort of impulse to buy weaponry over here. I'm sure you can get hold of it.
They were very convincing until the day that got exposed.
Yeah.
People really believed that the IRA were doing the bombing.
Yeah.
So that they were voluntarily saying, well, we don't want to give it to the IRA because they're going to do this. And the truth was, it was MI6.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's pretty darn effective.
Yeah, it was great.
But see, all these things, like when they first start trying these LRAD weapons, they're going to hit some group of people, and you're going to watch that happen, and then you're going to go around. It's not going to keep working. It only works, it's like the Borg. It only works once. Each method only worked once.
Yeah.
Like that bit with the IRA and all that, that's not going to work here. They can't pull that stunt twice.
Won't work again, but it worked over the course of 20 or 30 years. Just got the idea of actually hoarding guns out of people's minds.
Yeah.
Just won't even think of it.
But here, they've been trying to replicate some of that stuff, and it just doesn't work. Like they had in South Carolina the Guns for Roses program. And people were. It wasn't number one. It wasn't an amnesty. They would check to see if the gun was stolen, and they'd arrest you if you tried to turn in a gun that was stolen from somebody else. And people were trying to turn in broken guns for roses. Like no one really turned in legitimate weapons. They got almost no legitimate weapons during that entire program. It was either crap broken guns or tricks or something. It was never a legitimate. Nobody ever gave a gun up for a rose.
Yeah, that's stupid. It's just Guns N' Roses, the band.
Right. I mean, what kind of idiot thinks that would work?
Stupid. There's been so much drugs, so yeah. Fall for that one.
Yeah.
I got a headline, it's totally different. It's how a computer program became classical music's hot new composer. Emily Howe is a computer program that composes classical music by following rules of music its programmer taught it. I remember saying this donkeys years ago that they have computers.
Can you post that?
I could post a link to it, yeah.
Post it. Post it right now.
Yeah.
That's part of this. They had this thing about that maybe all music was dead because all melodies had been come up with already by the time of the Beatles.
Yeah.
And that soon all music would be dead because every last melody would be invented.
Yeah, yeah.
And see, now they've got that desperation system that can. Have you ever seen those iPhone apps? They've got other programs. One's called Shazam on the iPhone, and you let it listen in the open air, and it'll tell you what song it is. That's because the music industry desperately came up with this technology. It's now worthless. It's only used for this crap. But they'll come up with another paranoid use for it if we let them do it. But it listens and it knows what song it is, and the point is plagiarism, they keep claiming, or copyright infringement. That they want it to be listening to rap and other songs to see if there's a sample in there and see did they steal the sample from somebody or is this their own sample? The only guy who's ever sampled himself is Prince. And he doesn't sample old stuff. He makes a new riff and samples it, and he makes something as a joke. He torments rappers. On the Black Album is a great song. What is that? Dead on It. The only good rapper is one that's dead on it. It's a double meaning. He's really saying that they can't sing and all. But but these programs like Shazam, they only need to hear a few seconds of something, and it can figure it out.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're talking about with these programs, is how a computer program became classical music's hot new composer. They are trying to mathematically figure out what the rest of the melodies are, and then nail them, and then all of our music is dead.
Yeah, I think they're taking it one step further, though. I think they've got a database, so I'm guessing it's going to have a database of all classical melodies, and then it's going to do some sort of interpolation between them. It's like I said to Hat, they could do this donkeys years ago.
That's to find all the last few melodies that have never been used.
Yeah. Well, you could do it. It's like I did a program that did it. Basically, it's like fractal music. It's not difficult. And yeah, you just take a fractal algorithm and then just at random points along the time.
Right, but it needs to be set to their little niblets database of little niblets of songs.
Yeah.
They've got everything broken down into little pieces.
Yeah. But basically, you could just use chaos and then just put it through different filters.
Right. I know what you're talking about, but you'd never know if you were repeating.
But that'd be a separate module, something that checks the program. It's not like you're not like making live music. You do that, then you analyze it, and then you analyze it again. You know, and then eventually you end up with like a finished product that's kind of like a render, sort of.
But you never know if you're inventing Purple Rain again. You know,
it's unlikely. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because then you have
bet the farm on things like. On Million Monkeys and stuff. Million Monkeys could be working for 1,000,000 years, and they're never going to write Shakespeare like they tell you. It's never going to happen. It's not true. Try it and find out. So a lot of this stuff, they tend to announce their results before they do the study.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's already been released.
Okay.
Earlier this year, 6-year-old musical prodigy Emily Howe released an 11-track debut album resembling the work of history's most renowned classical composers, but instead of receiving the praise given to Beethoven, Mozart or Bach, the California native has become a lightning rod for controversy within the musical community. Why? Because Emily is not human. Emily is a computer program, and her ability to write original compositions is called into question whether art is as uniquely human as many like to believe.
Well, is it inventive? Like Prince's stuff really did break the walls down. I mean, that guy invented new concepts and whatever. I mean, is the computer going to invent new types of music that, you know?
Well, it can create new melodies that people.
I mean, Bob Marley slowed down ska twice. First to rock steady, and then to his own thing, reggae. I mean, is the computer going to come up with something unique like that? Probably not. It's going to come up with something, you know, like Jay Leno. Why is Prince... Everyone goes up to Prince and says, "You've written my whole life in your song. How could you know personal details?" No. Prince doesn't write with you in mind. Prince writes for himself only. It's a song so deeply personal to him that he doesn't give a crap if any other human being exists. He's writing for himself only, personal stuff, and he releases it. And everybody says, "Oh, it's so universal. How did you know about my life?" Jay Leno is not funny at all, because Jay Leno sits around thinking, is this going to offend anyone? How can I make it funny for everybody? All he worries about is whether the last little person's going to think it's funny too, and you're going to be offended, so I can't do that. And so he comes up with mathematically in his mind there, what's the least offensive thing that might be a joke, and everyone thinks it's offensive. Everyone thinks it's not funny. If you try to write with other people, that's what the computer's going to do. It tries to write what people already like and what they might like if we figure out what they liked about this and what they liked about that. So you've made something everyone likes and everyone hates it. That's what happens. Is the computer going to write personal stuff to its own? It doesn't have its own imagination. It only knows what you like. You know.
It's just going to be remixed.
So it can't be inventive on that basis, I don't think. That's why Prince is universal. That's why, you know, it really does hit you, and it hits everybody differently, because everyone has different experiences, and the Prince manages to nail it. And it's only because he doesn't care about you at all. That's how The Secret works, and that's how The Secret works for everybody. When you write for just you, everybody goes, "Oh my God, you wrote about my life." No, you didn't. Prince doesn't care whether you listen to the song or not. And the more he tries to do the opposite, sometimes he gets like Jay Leno, and the stuff sucks. And you hear him talking, he goes, "I did kind of care about what other people thought." But his best stuff was never like that. I really wonder about this computer program. I've nailed it before I even read the article, which is bad. You should still read the article. Go ahead and read it if you want. It's written about 20... Emily has written about 20 songs.
Yeah.
And Emily has only fed music that EMI... What's EMI? Is that the EMI company?
Global company, yeah. Oh, no, that's later on. EMI is Emily.
Experiments in Musical Intelligence.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Emily... Emily is software, and so is EMI. So they're two different programs? One feeds into the other? I see.
Emily is a computer programmer, and her ability to write original compositions has called into question whether art is as uniquely human as many like to believe. Can computers be creative in the sense that they are creating something that wasn't there before? Yes, says David Cope. Emily is programmer and professor emeritus at the University of California, Santa Cruz, but so can birds and insects and volcanoes. We have reserved this notion of creativity for humans for a long time, and we are enamored of it.
See, it's always, these people, it's always GPS. We're going to see without the stars, without the sun. We're going to see in the dark and avoid God. You know, these people, now they're going to avoid humans, they're going to avoid creativity. The computer's going to do it. Now we don't need people anymore. That's what they think. And it never works out for them.
Posthumanism.
Yeah.
Get rid of the and nature.
We're irrelevant. It's okay to kill 85% of the population. It's not.
So just write themselves out of the picture.
Yeah.
As he sees it, creativity has never been a human-defining trait.
Really?
This feeling of his stretches back 3 decades. You see, when he first had his first psychotic fit. To when Mr. Cope first dabbled in teaching music to computers. There's this guy called Julian Cope.
I first had this thought in the lodge when I was taking the oath, and
yeah, that's it. On the drugs, special drugs they gave me.
They just compromised me in bed with a child, and they gave me this idea, and I've had it ever since. You know.
Yeah, and I was on amanita mushrooms.
Yeah.
This feeling to when Mr. Cope first dabbled in teaching music to computers. After hitting a dead end while trying to write new music on his own, Cope created a program called EMI, which he pronounces as Emmy. EMI experiments in musical intelligence, would analyse the work of computer composers, pick up on their musical styles, and generate new work seemingly written by the original musician. EMI created zillions of compositions before being scrapped for Cope's latest project, he says.
Which is Emily now.
Yeah, EMI Emily. And EMI just happens to be like the big music industry, isn't it? Electronic music industry.
But see, Emily has only written 20 songs. It synthesizes its own compositions according to the rules of music that Cope has taught it. And Emily is only fed music that EMI has composed. That's the first program.
Yeah, experiment.
This program is now using the it's not been scrapped, the first thing. Because that thing has to generate data for the new program.
Yeah. It's sort of like what I was saying. One program has to feed off the other, sort of thing. It's just like a 2-stage process. It's so funny that I can think of these things in like 10 seconds, and it takes other people 20 years. You know, how do they manage to do that? And yet I don't get paid, and they do.
And they get paid to come up with nothing.
I know, and I've consistently done that ever since school. We just picked up on it, and they know what I'm saying because they copy me.
In England, that happens way more often. In America, that sounds very crazy what you said, but in England, that does happen, and I've looked into it. It's such a closed environment in England. Everyone's on top of each other.
It's
that happens.
It could happen in America as well. They'll just kill off the artist.
Well, I started looking into it when that Lily, who we were just talking to the other day, she told me a long time ago that you were just insane, and that she told me this stuff, and I started looking into it, and I go, that is crazy in America. It's not crazy over there.
Yeah.
And I found out why. I found a million examples. But she's dead certain that, because she thought about it in terms of America, and that probably is happening here too. But you have to have a little notoriety for them to notice you. In England, you don't have to have any notoriety for them to notice you. They're on top of you. And some incredible number of the population is somehow connected to some service of some kind. Plus, the Queen has all these royal commissions. Did you ever see that one video where they just kept listing them on the screen while they were talking? It's kind of old. It was supposed to be made for BBC and they didn't air it.
No.
But it was listing the number of private royal commissions that she's had, and it just kept listing them, and it went off the deep end. And you couldn't believe there could be this many. And then later on, people typed them all in, and I saw lists that I've got on the internet that match the screen, and it is detailed. Yeah.
That's funny about Lily. Oh, whatever. Because I know I'm saying it's true anyway. Because
leaving aside MI5, MI6, forget that. We're talking about other commissions. That's what I'm saying. Other commissions too. That's how many there are. And there's still an MI4. when I started looking at this, because I was trying to prove her wrong, and I thought, oh my God, I could never live over there. It would kill me. And I knew, and I attached it to some of the other data I knew about it. I've studied England too much because of the rock scene. Like, I had to quit when I realized I was studying local bands.
Yeah.
I knew that, like Fleetwood Mac is essentially a local band over there. The original Fleetwood Mac was. And Chicken Shack and stuff like that. We're studying the local bands that played at a certain club. I mean, that's you wouldn't do that here. Other people in other countries would never do that for our local band. I realized I had to stop.
But there's loads of plagiarism. Yeah, she obviously hadn't investigated much. Even in the music scene, you can even tell it in the recorded pieces, like in the indie scene, they just all rip each other off.
Yeah.
It's because they're running out of ideas. It's quite obvious, really. It's just logic. They got hardly any ideas because they're not connected with the muse. You see, that's what's so funny.
But it's not that. I don't think that it's because all the melodies have been exhausted. I really think that the music industry and all media is controlled by Jews.
Uh-huh.
And they don't create anything, and they'd rather promote their friends. See, now the new, this is in the original, in the system that they have had since 1900. But now they have that Las Vegas system, so that we're not talking about that. In the system that we're all used to from the past, they only wanted to promote their friends. They didn't want to promote us. They only wanted somebody like Prince so they could rip him off. Mm-hmm. But Prince spun way out of control. You're only supposed to get so far, and then they shut you down with a drug bust or a drug death or something, and then they steal from you. But now they've chosen control over money. Like, they still made money with Prince, but they couldn't control him. So now they control everybody.
Yeah, they're not interested.
You're not allowed in unless you read the script, and they have to write it now. And now they're in a big world of hurt because they've got to wrap this up, because eventually they're going to either have to let us back in the music industry or in any media, which they have cut us all out, or they're going to have to learn to write songs. I mean, that Britney Spears stuff is all brainwashed, NWO, Jay-Z and all that stuff. That's all. I mean, eventually they the Talmud was used as the basis for Seinfeld. They ran out of good stories from the Talmud that they could use. I mean, not good, but stories that could be turned into TV shows. Yeah. They had to move to the Zohar at the end. They took that show off there because they ran out of ideas, and the ideas only came from the Talmud, and then later the Zohar. That's why they kept saying it was a show about nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They need to milk us to get stuff. But see, they think this is the end game, and they've stopped doing that. That's why they keep talking about, can computers do it? Because they need to milk the computers for new ideas. Since they refuse to milk us, because we're not supposed to make any money anymore. There aren't supposed to be any jobs for us ever again. I mean,
they've been going on about that stuff for like 20 years. That's what I mean. That's why it's like an old idea, because they can't stand artists because they're temperamental.
Well, see, once one of us gets to the $100 million, or once most artists get to the $100 million point, they either drop out of the business or start talking about, let's cut down the NWO. And they try to wake people up and stuff, and they can't control those people.
Yeah, I know, because you've got to be able to have an active mind in order to be creative, you see, and if you've got an active mind, then you start looking around.
See, they always had that thing where the Beatles and the Stones and whoever had to go and beg on their knees to get a record contract, so that the Beatles only made pennies. The Stones made even less. And remember the whole idea about Apple Records? They went on the Tonight Show and they talked about, we're going to revolutionize the music business. We're going to make it so you don't have to beg on your knees. You just come to us with your idea, come to the Beatles, and we'll just hand you the money. You go away and you'll make a record, and you know what I'm saying, you won't have to beg. And that bankrupted the Beatles immediately. That became every scam artist in the country showed up. But that showed that there was something wrong, because like Bowie never made a penny in the music business until he moved his catalog to EMI.
Yeah.
He moved his catalog from, I don't know who he was on, but he was on like DRAM or something before. I don't know what he was on. In America, he was on RCA. But he moved the whole catalog to EMI, and then he was able to cut a better deal per record. It was pennies before. That's how they kept you down. And as long as you couldn't get touring together, you really couldn't make money. Donovan never made any money. Donovan never toured. The Rolling Stones made money. The Grateful Dead. Because they toured. They weren't making money from the record. But the Stones made money for the first time when they moved everything to Virgin Records.
Okay, the other EMI is electrical and musical industries.
Right, that's what I mean.
Music industries, rather.
Right.
EMI company.
That's what I was confused about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like a super massive one, wasn't it? If it's still going.
Yeah, oh yeah, God, yeah, they're huge. Well, no, the thing is, it's now down to 3 companies, and like if you look at any good CD that you've got, any CD that anybody likes, you know, a Van Morrison CD, or even lately Marillion. I've been downloading your Marillion that you guys like. It all boils down to Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
All those labels of the past, Sire Records, Virgin Records, all those things are sub-labels of essentially Warner Brothers, no matter what they are. Look on the back of any of your the hard discs that you still have. Do you have any discs from the 80s or 90s?
Yeah.
You probably do. But if you look on the back of it, well, you'll be such a tough case. We won't have one example in your library.
Yeah.
Anybody else, me. You look on the back of every disc you've got, and it all, no matter what label we knew in the past on vinyl, on the disc, on the back, there's a little paragraph there, and it says, Sire Records, courtesy this, courtesy that, courtesy this, courtesy Warner Brothers. It all boils back down to Warner Brothers again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and that's Sony. That became Sony.
Yeah.
So it isn't even Warner Brothers anymore.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I knew this because at primary school we had some of the Warner's family in the school,
really?
And one of them became a teacher. Yeah,
wow.
So I knew all about Warner, and of course V and stuff, but they wouldn't allow us to watch it, obviously.
Well, the other big juggernaut is Vivendi Universal, which is also NBC. That's their front end. That's a French company. But they're all Jewish, by the way. The whole thing. Every one of these. And it boils down to 3 companies, by the way, now. In America, you can't tour unless Clear Channel says it's okay.
They were the only family I knew that had electronic surveillance equipment around their house to stop people getting in. And it's like, the moment you stood out in the gate, it would like send a signal to the dog, and the dog come running at you.
Yeah. Well, that was the 80s, you know.
Yeah. They're the only people doing it, and they were like really Americanized.
But now it's the whole country. They've got strips of cameras that come like stickers on rolls. That's how it works in England.
Yeah.
I've seen how they were unrolling these strips of cameras, how they put them up, and they're all wired up. It's sick. But but the thing about the little niblets of it even knows TV shows and it knows commercials. What it doesn't know is live music. But you hold it up to the TV, it knows what commercial it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the iPhone. I have the iPod. So they've tried to do that because their whole game plan now is because they made those laws that allow the downloading. I know they play games like, we didn't do that. Yes, they did. Especially in America, they did. They did the 2 fundamental laws, which are they're not laws, they're acts. But the one is free to air, and the other one is the Copyright Act. It's only if money changes hands. Or in the case of the free to air, anything that comes into your airspace you can descramble. No problem. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they made that on purpose so they could now have the control system. They took a bath on all the old music because they want you to download that so those people can never become... Brian Wilson will never make a penny again. He can only tour.
Yeah.
But they'll never create, by mistake, another Prince, another Dylan, who they can't control because those people, like, there'll be Tiffany and Debbie Gibson who are broke today. You read the script or you don't work. No royalties ever again. No royalties on any product, anything. No movie, no nothing. And they really can't stop that in the movies too much because the movies, there's either they make money or they don't. The records, they force in your face. They don't care if you listen to it or not. It's going to be on the radio. They control the radio. I've never liked the radio because even if the DJ plays all the stuff I like, I still like to control my own music.
Yeah.
I don't care who the DJ is. Like they have that Sirius satellite radio, which I will never do. When I get the Stern Show, I get it, off the...
But it was all contrived anyway, the whole piracy of the music on the internet, because it started out from Napster.
No, but they made the laws that way in the 80s. It was done on purpose. We thought they were... Like in the 90s, when they were having the Napster trials, we thought Jack Valenti was a bonehead.
Yeah.
Because what the conventional wisdom was they had an opportunity to write the laws in their favor, and they wrote them this crazy way, so it's all free. They didn't do that because they're stupid. They did it because they wanted to make it so that there was no royalties for any act in the future.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, like Napster started out, and like hardly anybody had heard of it. Like really, hardly anybody heard of it. It was totally underground. And then, like, all of a sudden, Metallica comes out and says, Napster's copying all our music, we're not making any money from our music.
There were these congressional hearings.
Yeah, but it was total bull, because Metallica just, like, on permanent tour all the time.
See, the thing is, Metallica was the only band that went and testified against their own fans at that congressional hearing, and John McCain was the one who chaired that thing on TV. He was the chairman of the committee, and so Metallica was the only band. No other band showed up.
Yeah, but Metallica were popularising Napster, you see, because if they hadn't got up in arms and complained about it, if they just kept their mouth shut, then people wouldn't have even used Napster. They were quoting Napster all the time. It was huge by then.
It was huge by then. Napster was bitching. Oh
yeah. By the time they finished bitching about it, they bitched about it for about 2 years.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. They did kind of make it famous and then try to go against it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's Metallica as well. You see, Metallica like tour permanently, and so they make their money from doing live gigs. So Napster is not here or there. They don't make that much money from the album sales. They make most of their money from the merchandise.
But only because the Jews wouldn't give them a decent cut of the record.
Yeah.
Buying the record never helped the Beatles because they were never being paid anything.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. They were complaining about something they weren't making any money out of anyway. Before they're making minimal money.
But see, the problem is they should have been making half the money. What business is it making Capitol Records huge amounts of money when the Beach Boys are sold? Brian Wilson wrote that stuff from scratch. He really wasn't ripping anyone off. The Beatles weren't ripping someone off. Eric Clapton, yes. Yeah. That British invasion, besides the Kinks, the Stones, and the Beatles, those people were ripping people off.
Well, I reckon it was all set up. I reckon Metallica was set up to bitch and moan about.
But the people who really did write original music, Prince or Brian Wilson or the Beatles, that stuff's not rip-off. Most of it. Not that I can come up with.
Because there's no way like somebody like James Hetfield would like really be browsing around on the internet looking for obscure PTP programs. You see, he must have been informed to do it, or they just like twisted his arm and said like, make a big fuss about this because they're ripping you off. That's the reason why you're not making so much money and you have to keep going touring. And I'm so sick of touring, man.
Well, but
blame the Napster.
The simple answer would have been for any of those people to say, well, give us a better cut then. Then see, you never saw Led Zeppelin come on the MTV and say, well, you people should stop ripping us off, because there was never an incentive in doing that. Plus, it would have looked incredibly uncool.
Yeah, because it doesn't
they had
even
any financial incentive to do that, but they didn't, because they were never given any money.
It doesn't even make sense in complaining about it, because they can't come on stage and complain about Napster because they're on stage and they take money from your tickets.
But I think in the early 90s, if Jimmy Page and Robert Plant said, hi, we're Page and Plant, we'd like you to stop doing it, I would have considered it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if all of them came out there and said, hi, I'm John Cougar Mellencamp, I mean, that's a silly example. But, I mean, if they'd all come out there and said that, people with credibility, let's say, you would have considered not doing it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
but never. Only Metallica, and that killed Metallica.
They were sucking bad, you see, at the time as well, and they just got worse and worse. I think it was like they couldn't figure out why their record sales were going down. And it's because you're writing shite albums, one after the other.
Right.
Ever since Cliff Burton died, basically, they've been getting steadily worse. And people go, like, the Black Album's amazing, and, Reload's really great. But it's like, no, you're trying to sell to the fucking indie market now. Indie rockers and stuff, and it's horrible. It's horrible. You're not metal. You just become this horrible, like, I don't know, sort of like... just like all the way through all the songs.
Well, see, they could never reach Satanism. They were always trying to portray, all these bands were trying to portray themselves as, we're the devil, I'm the Prince of Darkness, I'm Ozzy, and they would never let them into the lodge.
Well, actually, Cliff Burton was really had really good insight in his lyrics when he was around, but they tried to carry on with it, but they're just not intellectual. Metallica just aren't. They're like sports metal,
Yeah.
And so they're into the whole sports metal thing, and it's like, we should be making megabucks. So why aren't we? Well, it's because your music's crap, and people like
Well, it's about nothing. See, a lot of the best of the metal is really anti-New World Order if you think about it, because they were never allowed in. So what they found out was how to defeat it, and they wanted to sound big and bad and tough,
Well, Metallica and Megadeth were sort of like joined at the hip by Dave Mustaine, who's the singer for Megadeth, and he also writes all their songs. He's done just about nothing else apart from write anti-NWO songs. He wrote an album called The United Abominations, which was just bitching about the United Nations. His whole career has been just about that. And it's really funny because it's like Alex Jones is like the old guard, really. I mean, he's like supportive of the NWO by his own stupidity, but he was sort of forced into having Dave Mustaine into an interview with him. Dave Mustaine was forced onto the interview. No, the other way around. Alex Jones was forced interviewing him because he produced an album called Endgame. At the same time as Alex Jones brought out the DVD of Endgame, and it was deliberate on Mustaine's part.
Well, Alex Jones is a cheap ripoff of William Cooper.
Yeah.
A really ineffective ripoff of it.
He's such a scumbag though, because he'll never play Megadeth. He always plays Metallica.
Right.
And even after it's like, oh yeah, I really like your album, and I always thought as a child you were better than Metallica, and so
he doesn't understand it. Yeah.
No. So whose music does he always still play? Metallica. Right. He doesn't play Megadeth, even after they brought out an album. Just Dave Mustaine's like really brainy as well. Apparently, he could have been a job high up in the banks or something when he was growing up, but instead he wanted to be like a rock musician because he's got the brains for all the money management.
Yeah, but
stuff.
we have to stop thinking of whatever the smart people are the people who are literally the enemy. You know what I mean? He could have been smart. He could have worked in banks.
No, he could have, but he didn't want to.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the height of intelligence, is it?
Yeah, but I mean, he's still writing anti-NWO songs, and
right.
Jones should be pushing him instead of Metallica, which is just like sort of like mindless, music.
Right.
Well, anyway, that's the Jones in a nutshell.
That comes from the mentality of if this is good, I want to be bad. Mm-hmm. Because they see the things that are promoted as good, and they're not good. That's why that's that music, because it's they're cheering along with fighting the establishment, not knowing who the establishment is.
Well, they're not even fighting the establishment in Metallica. It's just
claiming to,
Yeah.
Fighting the evil Catholic Church.
No, Metallica or nothing like that. They're just more like sports metal. Just sort of like run around, make some noise. Huh?
They're even weaker then?
Yeah,
wow.
That's what I mean. They haven't even got an angle to grind, sort of thing. At least Megadeth will actually do stuff that's about politics.
I was never into Metallica, so.
Yeah. They were writing about Master of Puppets was just about like how you're being controlled by whoever, government, and all that sort of thing. But of course, Cliff Burton died. And now they've just been sort of like writing mindless, sort of like, almost like pop songs, lyric-wise, with like a same sort of like.
See, I was into Master of Reality.
Yeah, that's good.
Not Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Master of Reality with a positive message, by the way. After Forever and all that. That's what I was. I never was into the Metallica at all.
I got bored of them after. Cliff albums. Yeah.
See, I need the songs to be about something, and I'm also into the words, not the music usually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just started writing songs about nothing after Cliff Burton. But never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was never hugely into either of the bands. Megadeth are alright. At least they had some sort of meaningful lyrics and stuff. But it's more like something like, oh well, I think other people might get it more. But I like the old Megadeth. I'm not so keen on the newer stuff.
I know the key to Aerosmith, but there's also a key to Megadeth. What is it? It's like it's some Chuck Berry song or something like that. The key to Aerosmith is the train kept rolling from Tiny Bradshaw, or Sonny Boy Williamson. At one point, I figured out what the key to Megadeth was, and there's some song that is a key song, just like there is for Aerosmith. And there's a key type of music. I saw them do something on one of these like late night shows, and it made it really crystal clear to me who their key was.
No idea.
It's something like it was something really I was really impressed by it because it was like Chuck Berry or something like that. There's a key to their sound. Like when you turn the key on Aerosmith, it becomes very obvious, and they become really repetitive. That ruins it. But with Megadeth, it made me interested in them. Anyway, I'll figure this out on some other show. I'll come back.
Yeah. Possibly the pentatonic scale, but they're sort of all over the place.
No, it was a song. They tend to have popular sources.
I think I know what you mean, like a central song, like a defining song.
But I don't even know if they play it. But they did it on it was like on Letterman or something.
Yeah.
And they finally, it was like they came on and revealed to me what they were doing, and that's when it opened the door for me to even listen to Maggot.
Yeah.
But I never got quite into them either. I dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like Symphony of Destruction was like starts with you take a mortal man and put him in control, watch him become a god, and watch people's heads roll. It's that sort of thing. That was Megadeth, but Metallica won't ever do songs like that. It's too political. Oh, it's over our heads.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I've never been in the sort of thing that music can change the world sort of thing. It's just music's just music.
Yeah. But I've always been into the words. The words always have to agree with what I'm talking about, or I can't listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear people, and you hear what the words are to the music they're singing, and it's all stuff that leads your life all screwed up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, pop music's all about how messed up they are and stuff.
Even the second Fleetwood Mac was all about they're all breaking up all the time. They all hate each other. Mm-hmm. The original Fleetwood Mac was not like that. The blues band.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to stop listening to that because I kept hearing all the songs are about I hate you, I can't trust you, you've harmed me, so I stopped listening to that. I don't know. It's interesting to figure this stuff out.
Guess I was just lost interest in it pretty much.
Now I've been going through the old material and their remasters and stuff since I'm definitely not going to pay for them. Mm-hmm. But I apparently spend all my time downloading movies and NWO stuff or anti-NWO stuff and stuff like that, and not music. There have been some amazing, especially in the last 2 or 3 years, amazing re-releases of stuff.
Yeah.
And you hear they'll mix them from the original tapes, and then now they're crystal clear.
Yeah.
Check out Morrison Hotel.
Mm.
It's a different record. It's a completely different record than it was. A lot of this stuff's like that.
Yeah.
Like you told me that all the Black Sabbaths were cutting off and they sounded strange to you. Probably because they're the 2009 remasters.
That's it. Yeah, that's strange.
They're the songs we knew all these years. They do sound different, but they're not re-recorded, and they're not anything except that they take the original separated tapes. Like they record the guitar different from the vocal, but now with modern mixing, it's clear where it would have been muddy before.
Yeah.
Like if you try to do what we're doing with putting the music underneath us, you couldn't have done that in the 70s, in the 60s, because it would have been too muddy to hear us talking.
Yeah.
It's very, very clear, the mixing now. Van Morrison's, the whole Moondance album, which I always loved, is a different record than it was before. The whole album. Especially Into the Mystic. You're hearing, there are all these pieces to it, and they didn't change anything. They even kept the original mixes. They're just done digitally. And you hear it's different. So any of those records, I'm going to be doing a Merlion show coming up. Because I never heard that. I never heard that before until both you and Don mentioned it. I like that.
Yeah.
So, but when I play it, you may argue that it's screwed up Merlion because these are the new 24K digital remasters.
Oh no, I only know one song of theirs, so
okay. But when I do this stuff, I'm doing it because I'm also getting the new versions of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm downloading them on purpose and making 320s. I probably should keep the FLACs, but I've thrown a lot of them away. I just redid all the John Lennon albums too. I got a John Lennon show I'm gonna put up later today.
Okay, cool.
And that sounds different too. I just like that since there is no new music, all this stuff comes with like an additional disc of extra material, or all the demos, and it's fascinating. The one show I want to put together is I've got all that the fully extended basement tapes, not that crap that Columbia released for Dylan.
Okay.
When he was fired for those couple years, it's a Happy Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
You've never heard Happy Dylan. It's weird. He's really happy. He couldn't even record in his own recording studio. He owned a mile away. It's in the basement. I've got 11 albums of that.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Well, we can wrap it up.
Can do. Shorty show.
It's alright.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this has been American Freeman. We've covered every Freeman topic.
Yeah. Oh, I can like interrupt like amazing report. It's like totally not ironic at all. CIA report: Israel will fall in 20 years. There you go.
It's not soon enough.
Can't wait. Yeah, but the funny thing is they've been saying that for like 50 years.
Right.
A study conducted by the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, has cast doubt over Israel's survival beyond the next 20 years.
If we were to cut our support, it's over. It's only because we prop them up with a fascinating amount of money. When you really see how much we send over there, it's incredible. We're nuts.
Yeah. Well, that was it. It was just just more of the same, really. Just, Israel's always going to fall. But it's always like next 20 years, next 50 years, 40 years.
Well, anyway, tinyurl.com/WFS podcast. You can go to Maggot's webpage. It's tinyurl.com/mymaggot. And I don't know what else. Let's just take us off the air. I'm your responsible party. Caribbean Critic's been on hold the whole time. Don is moving today, so we didn't hear Don. And I'm your responsible party of Stratius Constantine.
Who was the other guy? We had Evan. Was it?
Oh yeah, we had Michael. Seek the Truth.
Oh yeah.
And we had Louis B. I forgot about that. You're right. From Crotch Shot Radio, which you can hear on TalkShoe. Look up Crotch Shot Radio. And I think he's got like crotchshotradio.com or net or something. And you can hear it live that way too. Alright, well, I'm your responsible party of Stratius Constantine Radio. I'll take you off the air. Here we go.
Well, I've long since retired, my son's moved away. Called him up just the other day. Said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as he hung up the phone, it occurred to me he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me.